I love a buttered biscuit.
Well, you're handling that mic pretty well.
Yeah. Good evening, everybody. I hope that you're doing wonderful tonight. Oh, what a beautiful day. It has been wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Oh my gosh. Look at this. Hey, Deborah Kennedy. That one waiting would be me. Good to see you, Cynthia Williams. Competing with the umbrella guy. I never compete with anybody. I just do what I do. And tonight is supposed to be fun. And if you're going to have fun, there's only one way to actually have like a really good amount of fun. And that is this. Welcome. How you doing, Yamaha?
Hey, what's going on?
It is going. Good to hear you, man.
Good. Yeah, it's been a while, man. We kind of had, life going on and 3D stuff. And yeah, it's been a while. It'll be fun and exciting to get back to this.
Yes, it will be absolutely fun. Well, let me say hello to these other fine folks here. We've got Phoenix. Good to see everyone. Good to see you. And B Bean, good to see you. D Robertson. Oh, that is a wonderful sound. Okay, you win. Just pictured a freezer full of deer meat. Good stuff. You know, we love the deer meat. Yeah. And so Yamaha. We may not have Diva and Volstorm tonight, but at 8:00,
yeah,
Kaiser should be joining us or sometimes thereabout. So we're just chilling right now. Have you heard of this? What would you call her? A stripper, pole dancing minister?
Oh yes. The lady that either way will get you to scream out God's name.
Like, God, put it back on, please.
Oh my God, she's horrible. She's horrible.
Yes,
she's absolutely insane. Yeah.
So
and that judge too. I mean, it's just it really is. It's mind-boggling. It's absolutely mind-boggling.
And I'm so behind all of this stuff, like catching up on it, and I'm just, the worst part is because I'm having all this work done in my basement that I can't access my regular computer to like do a lot of the stuff that I normally would do.
Oh, right.
So I'm like, I joke not, guys, whenever I say this, I have a piece of plywood sitting on a couple of sawhorses with my laptop on top of it. That's how bad it is right now. You probably hear the echo in the room because there's this.
Well, that's okay. Yeah,
this room is not really set up for this. Right.
Yeah, but it's working. I mean, you got to do what you got to do until you get all that other stuff squared away.
Away from fears. Stay away from the window. Windows are bad.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Oh my God.
Yes. So I managed to write this in about a few hours.
I was going to ask how this went. When did you actually sit down and do this one?
This morning.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Because I was saying something about that last night, where somebody said something about a story this would make quite a story or something like that. And that's what I ended up saying was, yeah. So I said, I might actually have to sit down and write a story and read a story about this. And then you popped up and showed me the invite and what you were going to be doing. So I was like, okay, whatever.
Well, and the story that I have is nowhere near the truth at all. It is completely fabricated AI. I just punched in a bunch of stuff and the AI took over from there. So if anybody believes this story is real, trust me, nothing we say here is true or real. No. It is like we just use names and characters' names of everything.
We just read the lies that AI tells us.
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, I will agree. We're probably, hey, Aaron, good to see Aaron Olivia. Yes, I agree. I am probably better than the Oscars. Now, I did write 2 stories. One of them I was like, it's okay. Let me tweak a couple of things. And I managed to come up with a much better one. And it's quite humorous on both accounts. I mean, either one of them will be just the funniest thing that you ever saw. So what has been going on? I mean, it's been 3 weeks now that
it's been a while. Yeah. I think it's been longer than that for me.
That's true.
I know it's been a while. Yeah. I know it's because I was right after we had that storm crap and then I got pretty sick. Yes. And then I was having an issue. I wasn't even sure there even in the last day or two whether or not I was even going to be able to come on because my voice just keeps doing all this weird crap and going in and out and that real nasty fry, and then it'll kind of clear up a little bit and then it acts like it wants to go out again. So I've been having trouble getting some of my reading done. This story that I'm doing right now has just been a pain in the ass. It's just been horrible. Just
because the voice is not holding up like it should. Yeah, I mean, we had a storm come through on the 9th of January that flooded, like the amount of rain that came in got through our foundation, got that all cleaned up, and then we had to file a insurance claim. Insurance took forever. In the middle of all that, my wife's father passes away, so we have to go and deal with that. We get that taken care of, and in the meantime, they're digging up our front yard. They managed to break the water line, after they buried everything again, they managed to break the water line, so we had to dig it back up, redo the water line, and then the guys finally came out to tear out all the sheetrock, rip out part of the basement that had some sort of weird drain pipe that didn't work anymore. And they ripped all that out. And let's see, Friday, they didn't come by, which I was hoping they would, but it ended up being Thursday. They were here, completed the tile out, completed the sheetrock portion of it. And I was hoping that they would be done by this weekend so I could actually start getting my office set back up. And we haven't heard anything from them. So I'm just like, if they want to get paid, they might want to show the hell up and, get stuff done.
Yeah. And it really is. It's frustrating when because I'm kind of, I think I'm kind of like you in that aspect, in that I'm not a master of everything. It's just a jack of all trades and a master of none. Right. But there are certain things that even I am like, okay, no, I'm going to let somebody else do this part. I'll have them do this part, and then I can take it from there and do the finished work and all that stuff. And that's kind of where I am with the gas line stuff and all that stuff with the fireplace that we talked about before and the generator and blah, 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 blah. I just myself am not real comfortable with cutting into, if that's what it were to need, cutting a new line into the actual meter line itself, because we're just right on the line where we were able to get into a natural gas line.
Jeez.
So, but the rest of it I could do. If they can stub that part out, the rest of it I could do. If they can't, if that's what I need to do, and I can't just tee off the main line itself. But you got to take all the BTUs and everything in your cubic feet per hour and add all those things up, and then make sure that your meter can run that, plus that it's got enough pressure when it presses down and through the line so that it can atomize correctly into your generator and all that stuff. But you got to take all that into consideration. And I was talking to some guy there, come to find out he's asking me or making these plumbing comments. And so I'm going into the BTUs and he's looking at me like I've got 9 heads. And I'm like, wait a minute, who the fuck are you? Why am I even having this conversation? You don't even know what I'm talking about.
Right.
He's like, well, I'm going to have to get somebody back out. Well, you already had somebody out there, and you're telling me that this is what the price is that you want to charge me for all this crap, and that it's essentially written in stone. No, bullshit. It's supposed to be an estimate. These are the things that I am going to do. We're taking this shit off the. I mean, it just. I'm sorry, I don't want to rant on that.
Oh, I know the feeling.
Yeah, because that's talking to these fucking idiots that don't even know what the hell they're talking about, and they're trying to talk to you about it, and look at you like you're the idiot. No, well, I just, and he kept wanting to refer back to the BTUs, and I'm trying. Okay, fine, we'll do the BT. It's not rocket science, dude. You take the total amount of BTUs and you divide it by 1,000. That gives you your cubic feet per hour. So if I have a generator that's 225,000 BTUs, it's 225 cubic feet per hour at its peak performance.
Yeah.
So I need to take all that shit and add it all together to make sure I have enough line. I'm not Bob fucking Vila, but I'm not a fucking knuckle dragging moron either.
Exactly. I love it.
I mean, I can cut fucking wood and cut pipe and shit, but don't sit there and talk to me like I'm a fucking idiot.
Yes.
So, anyway, that's my rant.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Good to see you back in full force.
Jesus Christ.
Welcome, Lefty, as the newest member of the. I don't know. I guess we're a bunch of nuts here. I got this for you.
No, D. Robertson. No, all my other gas shit has been perfectly fine, and I am doing, because it is with the fireplace. I am going to go ahead and do the permit and have them come out and do the final pre-close-up inspection, all that stuff, because it is the main fireplace itself.
Yeah.
But as far as that other shit goes, no, I know how to do that, and it's all been fine for almost 20 years. So, yeah, I'm not a complete fucking idiot.
Well, and that's the same way here. It's like I know whenever whenever they were digging on this whole area, I went out there to the wife and I looked at it and I was like, they hit the water line. It's like whatever they hit it with, they hit it hard. And I said that thing's gonna break. I was like, but just, I'm just telling you my opinion on it. She was like, yeah. Well, okay, well, you might want to call someone and have them come out here and fix that before they dig into it. She was just like, yeah, whatever. And sure as shit, whenever they filled it back in, popped that water line, and it ended up flooding into the basement some more. Just like,
Jesus. Hey, Eris. Hey, Pharaoh.
Hey, Eris.
But yeah, well, and that goes back to what you and I talked about before too. When I had my flood issue, when that one pipe that broke, that old crap PEX, where the one, not the Waynesboro one, but the other one, the previous, where they're having problems with it. Well, that was the problem. It just gave away, and some of that stuff, and there's still litigation or whatever that apparently is going on with that stuff. But anyway, so that's what my deal was. Well, when the idiots came in from this cleanup and restoration crew that they had that went through the insurance company too. I mean, we got to pick it. I'm not going to say who it was, but when they brought those idiots in and they were saying, oh, okay, what kind of trim do you want? Blah, blah, blah. I said, well, I just want it to match up, because I'm thinking, well, I can save myself a bunch of work then. Yeah, it's going to cost some more money, but I can save myself time and energy and effort in having to do it. Oh my God, I had to rip it all out and then turn around and tell the company, no, screw you. I brought their manager in here, took pictures, sent him pictures. And I said, look at what these fucking idiots, they broke our vanity, the whole nine. Had to get a whole new fucking bathroom shit. I had to go through and rip out all the baseboards because this dude, Ray Charles, could have done a better job. Okay. I don't know what this dude's fucking problem was. It didn't look at the bowl nose that they used. They just bought off the shelf, this crappy rounded over. Dude, that doesn't even look anything like the rest of the goddamn house. So I had to go through and cut my own bowl nose, do my own baseboards, go back through. They didn't re-insulate underneath the underlayment like they should have. So I had, fortunately, that was still open. So I had to put all that shit back in. Yeah. And then somebody the other night too that I was talking to on one of the lives, and we were talking about shower heads.
Before you say anything else, stuff. You have to say it. You have to say it.
I have to say what?
Has a request.
Oh, say my name. Hello, Eris. How you doing? I know. She's missed me.
Yes, she has. I think everybody has missed this wild and crazy group that we
it's been a while.
Yeah, and it's so bad that you have, especially whenever you're paying somebody to do money, to do these things that you're paying them good amount of money to do things, and you're like, listen, I can do a freaking better job than this. The only reason I'm hiring you to do it is because I don't want to. So don't make me come back and have to fix your fuck ups.
Yeah,
that's my biggest problem right there. Is like, Jesus.
Yeah. Well, the manager's parting words to me were, well, we sometimes, something to the effect of, I can't remember exactly how I said it, but to the effect of, sometimes we deal with some people that are pretty anal about this, and just making a snide comment that I'm being some kind of a pain in the ass over this as he's walking away down the sidewalk. I'm like, oh, mother Frigger.
Fudge bucket.
Yeah.
Yes, fuck. I know. I understand. Oh, I understand so much. I mean,
yeah. And then one of the other guys we were talking about that the other night, like I was saying, as far as for like showers and stuff like that, and he was saying something about the cartridges and the valves in there, and apparently one that I haven't had to deal with before he was talking about he's had to actually cut through that valve to get into which I don't understand, to be able to get into the cartridge, take that off. Because I'm like, well, when you go through to do the soldering, if you're doing a conversion or something like that, if you don't have it already set up for like PEX or what have you, but you have to do a conversion, depending on what kind of valve that you get, you have to take all the internals out, which are all plastic, and you got the rubber seals and all that stuff. So you got to take that stuff out. So when you go to do your solder, and he's like, yeah, but I don't think there's a lot of plumbers nowadays that really know how to solder anymore. And I said, well, I've done it a few times, and I've seen some pretty crappy so-called professional soldering. So yeah, it just all depends. But yeah, you're absolutely right. When you get somebody that's supposed to be in that field and be called a professional and have a license or whatever, you would think that they would know what the hell they're doing.
Right. This is your job. This is what you're supposed to be doing. And if I have to come back and do it, it's just like, no, it's ridiculous.
I mean, that would be along the same lines of, me going to tube somebody and sticking it in their fucking ear and expecting them to be able to breathe. So, yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, it doesn't quite work.
Oh, so we do have the story here, and as Kaiser comes in, we get some of these other folks coming in. We'll bring them in on the story. It'll be good. Hey, Sheila, you'll watch later? Oh, trust me, you don't want to miss this because it's only funny whenever it's live. So what we do here, and I'll explain to everybody, because just in case we've got some new folks that are joining in here, what we do usually on Sundays, we had been for quite some time, but 3D life comes into play, and we're not able to do everything that we want to do. Usually what it will do is we'll write a story. And this story will just be any number of characters. Monty knows where is he, but he did lick the like button for you. Oh, thanks, Eris. I love it. What we try to do is have a little bit of fun. Sundays are those sort of unwind, let your hair down, go absolutely crazy, and just write these random stories, and we come up with them on the spot usually. And then I punch them into AI. I go through and over the next week, I edit things out. I clear these particular things gone, like all of the mistakes that are made. So you're going to find a lot of mistakes in this story. It is not accurate. There's probably grammatical and all kinds of weird errors in it, because it it was literally done in probably about 30 minutes. So
Yeah.
I spent a couple of hours just putting the inputting the information in there to make the story at least palatable. If you could call Lynette palatable, if by any means, shape, or form. So
animal on itself.
Yeah, we all know how crazy and goofy she is, and how psychotic she is. So I tried to bring that into this story, and it's it's fun. Enigmatic, that might be in here a few times.
Yeah,
Farrell, you've got an invite.
It does like to throw that in there. Yeah.
You're more than welcome to come in. We probably need some pretty faces on here, because you can't, if you don't have pretty faces, then you end up with stuff. Welcome, Kaiser.
Hey, what's going on? Shizzy,
what's going on, man?
Good to see you guys.
How you doing?
It's been a while since we've done this. I am
down.
Yes. So we will, unless people jump in, we are short. I threw out some invites to some folks, and whether they come or not, that is entirely up to them. Because I was like, this is going to be a fun time. Wanted to get back into the groove of doing these AI story times, and they're just a nice release from the whole weekend. Yes, Farrell, Kaiser has a very pretty face. He can't help it. He can't help it. Evening, Georgina. Good to see you.
Georgina. Well, for those of you who are going to Dollywood in May, you'll get to see this pretty face live.
Exactly. And those that are going to be hanging around Kaiser will probably end up getting some good cooking done.
Yeah, well, I'm putting the feelers out there, potentially.
Baker's going to be spending all his time at Taco Bell, so.
Yeah, well,
the only weirdo that I know of that'll travel around the world and go to fucking Taco Bell.
Yeah, but I mean, is it really going to be worth it whenever you got me there to make tacos? Or, if I wanted to really get crazy, make some birria or enchiladas, name it, I could cook it.
Good luck.
I made tonight my dinner that I made tonight. I actually made gumbo. So
nice.
There you go.
Yep.
And Lefty says Taco Bell is the greatest culinary experience of all time. Is that before or after?
I do love me some Taco Bell. Don't get me wrong. That crunch wrap.
Lefty. Oh,
I've replicated the Taco Bell crunch wrap in my own kitchen, and it is.
Oh, you're back. That's awesome, Lefty. At least you're not too distracted by losing everything in your World of Warcraft character build.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! No.
Apparently I have nicked myself.
Would you?
Yeah, I don't know how that.
Oh, on your face. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Apparently I nicked myself.
You need a new blade, man.
Way to go! I mean,
I don't know. I don't even know how that happened either, because I was.
Yeah.
Hey, what the hell?
Well, I think I know how it happened.
Stop it. Get some help.
There you go.
I don't even shave. Wait, that came out wrong. Never mind.
What are you talking about? So here we go. We'll bring this thing up. Are you guys able to see this? Okay.
Yeah. Hold on.
Just good. It's a little bit small.
Expand that out there.
I can bring it in larger. If that's what she said. At least
big in it a little bit.
Bigger.
Too big.
Oh,
yeah.
I think that's okay.
Well, so we'll get into this story because it's quite interesting. This is like I said, this is written by AI. I just have to give it information.
Yep.
Now we bring the voices, we bring the story, we try to give it some life. We make it a dramatic reading.
And I've got a brand new voice to bring in too, so that's going to be fun.
Okay. Oh, really? Good.
So this is chapter 1, The New Neighbors in Town. Jeremy and George stood on their quaint porch in Otter Creek, their hands shielded above their eyes against the setting sun as they watched a battered van cough its way down the lane. The van, adorned with a crude painting of a turtle wearing a halo, creaked to a halt next door. Out tumbled Lynette Preston and John Crook, the newest additions to Otter Creek tableau, bringing in them a promise or threat of exciting times. Welcome to the creek, Jeremy bellowed with a wave, his compact, muscular frame making the gesture look almost heroic. Go ahead.
George, ever the keen-eyed sentinel, merely nodded, her pixie-cut hair bristling with a mix of curiosity and wary skepticism. Odd sort of neighbors, she muttered, squinting to make sense of Lynette's outlandish purple hairdo, which appeared to be flagging a distress signal from her scalp. You want me to keep going? Or do you want to go? There you go.
I can, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
The Hales soon discovered the reason for Lynette and Crook's peculiar appearance in Otter Creek to open a turtle rescue and pursue alleged ministry work. While Jeremy impressed them with his enthusiastic DIY talk, George's lips twisted, suspecting their so-called ministry might preach more to the wallet than the soul. Film at 11.
Still, they invited the peculiar duo over for lemonade, with Jeremy providing the warmth and George supplying a side of inscrutable stares. As they shook hands goodbye, George made a mental note to recount her fingers. She just couldn't quite shake the feeling that something about these two was as off as a three-legged turtle.
Chapter 2, Turtle Trouble. If the Hales thought meeting Lynette and Crook was an adventure, avoiding the turtle rescue turned into a full-blown quest. With every invitation to visit the hallowed grounds next door, where the air smelt faintly of deceit and too many entities that qualified as floaters, George crafted an excuse. Don't make me break character.
That's why I didn't say anything.
I like that part. Deceit and too many entities that qualified as floaters. George crafted an excuse more creative than the last. I'd love to, George would say, scratching her chin thoughtfully. But we're scheduled to reorganize our sock drawer by color and seasonal appropriateness. Maybe next time?
Okay. It didn't help that Lynette and Crook's stories about the past exploits of Chiloan salvations challenged more frequently than Otter Creek's weather. And that was saying something. One moment, they were self-proclaimed saviors of sea turtles in the Galapagos, and the next they could claim to have thwarted a Ninja Turtle crime ring in downtown Manhattan. God damn, what the hell is this?
You sure they didn't just watch a bunch of children's television and get confused? George quipped one evening as she and Jeremy reclined on the porch, visually patrolling the suspicious abode next door. The trouble with these turtle freaks is they came to dub the rescue operations was no more than one had actually seen a turtle since the pair moved in. Just smelly buckets that Lynette claimed were special turtle composting bins, George hypothesized. But the only thing being composted were perhaps truths and maybe a few brain cells, myth, if the tales they spun. Jeremy, through his perpetual sunburn and his kind eyes, to give did his best to give them the benefit of the doubt. But George, smart George, hearing Lynette's raucous chalkboard voice flaking her suspicions like warning sirens, knew better. I'm telling you, Jeremy, there's skullduggery afoot, she insisted, her intuition razor sharp as ever. We got ourselves a couple of turtlenecked tricksters. So, Otter's Creek, most unassuming couple grew watchful, ready to peel back the carapace of deception, hiding the tail of the turtle trouble next door.
You might call it.
Yes,
trouble
watch
in
out
the
for those
half
shell companies. Yeah. It's a shell company. Chapter 3, Unwelcome Warming. The sun was setting in Otter Creek, painting the sky with streaks of pink and orange. Jeremy's spatula in hand was flipping veggie kebabs on the grill, a look of contentment on his sunburned face. George was setting the patio table with mismatched crockery, a testament to their unique decorating style. Sorry, taste.
No, that's fine.
The tranquility of the evening shattered as Lynette Preston and John Crook ambled into their backyard without so much as a courtesy knock. Lynette, in her signature artificially purple hair, which looked like it had been attacked by a rabid cotton candy machine, was carrying a transparent gift bag filled with what appeared to be adult novelty items. Crook, sporting his usual sleazy grin that made you want to sanitize your eyeballs, trailed behind with a six-pack of some godforsaken cheap beer dangling from his beefy hand. Boy, neighbor, Lynette screeched, her voice grating enough to startle a nearby flock of birds into flight. We were pretzels. Yeah, not done that boy. Crook winked at George in a way that suggested his intentions were about as pure as mud puddles. Now we'd warm up to each other that way, he chuckled, the odor of his cologne wafting over like a noxious gas.
Wait, what? You think of that woman with adult nutty toys, for fuck's sake?
Hopefully not. Oh, Lordy.
Jeremy, ever the peacemaker, he forced a smile that had the authenticity of a $3 bill. How lovely you could join us. He lied through his teeth. George's nostrils flared. It was clear their patience was stretched thinner than Lynette's blouse.
Oh.
She eyed the gifts as if they were radioactive, and her mouth was a tight, thin line. The dinner progressed about as comfortably as a turtle race on a frozen pond. Lynette's lewd jokes and Crook's wandering eyes made the steak taste like sawdust. Jeremy talked about the weather, the local sport teams, and even attempted to segue into gardening, anything to avoid acknowledging the elephant, or rather the large adult novelties in the room. But George wasn't one to bite her tongue, a weapon sharper than any steak knife on that table. So, Lynette, she began casually leaning back in her chair, regale us with the tale of your, how shall we put it, ministry work?
Go ahead, guys, or we skipped over you.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
That's
I'm
all right.
sorry.
Go ahead. No, that's all right.
It's all right, man. Lynette puffed up, hurt like a rooster in a hen house. Oh, honey, she drawled out. The term honey coming off more as an insult than an endearment. I've been blessing people's lives longer than you've been in those sensible shoes. Crook snorted in his beer, and George's eyebrow twitched ominously. The evening was teetering on the brink of disaster, and Jeremy, bless his conflict-avoidant heart, began plotting an evacuation strategy that didn't involve a smoke bomb or a fake emergency. As the crickets chirped away, blissfully unaware of the human tension around them, Jeremy and George locked eyes, a silent agreement that Operation Be Kind to Sketchy Neighbors was over. It was time for action. And so, with the full bellies and feigned smiles, the dinner ended not with a bang, but with the sizzle of the dying coals on the grill and the twinkle of an idea in George's eyes.
Cancer nailed it. Jeremy finds loads in his locker. Is that?
You see, the trick is just to do a slightly more nasally Dr. Fauci voice.
Oh. Oh. All right, your turn. Your turn, Yamaha.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Chapter 4: Snoops and Scoops. The idyllic morning in Otter Creek was shattered by the echo of a rumor as ugly as a mud-stained wedding dress. George, sipping her coffee with the gusto of a sleep-deprived detective, almost spat it across the kitchen table. She had just learned from the town's bustling grapevine that Lynette Preston and John the Crook were spreading rumors about the Hales, something about them running an illegal moonshine operation out of their garage. Jeremy, who wouldn't know moonshine from moonlight, choked on his toast. That's rich, George grumbled, coming from the Bonnie and Clyde of bogus turtle sanctuaries. Jeremy, ever the peacekeeper, suggested that they take the high road. Maybe they're just trying to be funny. His optimism hung in the air, optimistic as a balloon in a room full of cactus.
Okay. All right, right at the top.
Yep.
Oh, let me turn my camera on there. Okay. Funny like a root canal, George shot back. She was already formulating a plan. It's one thing to be sketchy neighbors with a horse that screams tetanus risk, or a house that screams tetanus risk, but it's another to drag our good name through the mud. Indeed, the Hales were not about to let this odd couple freestyle jive their reputation. At George's insistence, they marched down to the county courthouse faster than a chased rabbit. With George's fiery determination, Jeremy's reluctant backing vocals, and they managed to get a restraining order against the less than neighborly neighbors. As the gavel fell, good God, what is wrong with me today? As the gavel fell, George smirks smugly. God, I need something to smoke right now.
I need something to smoke.
Feeling as victorious as a squirrel who'd outsmarted a bird feeder. I'll go ahead and continue on for a little bit there. But a triumph on paper is one thing. Real life is quite another. The court order was as effective as a screen door in a submarine. It simply didn't hold water. Lynette and Crook behaved as though the restraining order was an invitation to escalate their circus of rumors. Now the Hales' moonshine was apparently being distributed by a secret network of trained turtles.
Driven to the brink of madness or genius, George was too infuriated to distinguish. She declared, "It's espionage time, Jeremy. Let's give them a taste of their own medicine." Jeremy, who had always fancied himself a bit of an amateur thespian, imagined this stupid mission with all the drama of a Shakespearean play. He even practiced his sneaky walk, which resembled a crab sort of scuttling sideways to avoid seagulls. Well, of course, as night fell over Otter Creek, and with it the cloaks of the Hale secret operation, dressed in black, looking like a bargain bin ninjas, though they tiptoed towards the turtle rescue, the mission to gather enough dirt on Lynette and Crook to plant a garden of justice. "Remember stealth mode," George hissed, her voice tense with conspiracy while trying to make as much noise as a cotton ball in a pillow factory.
This is great. I miss this.
Oh, yes.
They crept closer, and what they saw next almost made them wish they hadn't. Lynette, in her technicolored wig, looking like a yard sale Barbie, was indeed squatting ungracefully over a bucket, the details of which are far too impolite for direct narration.
There's a visual for you.
Jeremy gaped, and George gagged. This was not the scoop they had hoped for. But as the saying goes, when life gives you poop buckets, make, well, a really compelling case to get your neighbors evicted. Reeling from the shock of unseeable sights, they scurried back home, their minds spinning with the scenes about both ludicrous and alarming. We'll expose them, George vowed, fiery as ever. But Jeremy wondered, with what? A bottle of bleach and a memories eraser? Nevertheless, this was only the beginning. The Hales were now committed, too disgusted to be deterred, too bemused to bow out. The odd struggle for Otter Creek's peace was just heating up. And somewhere, in the quiet dark, a turtle probably sighed in despair.
Bummer, dude. Oh, Jesus. Chapter 5, Midnight Misdeeds. Jeremy and George, equipped with a knapsack full of curiosity and a pair of binoculars, crept toward the unsteady fence. Damn it. That gracefully bordered the turtle rescue. Sorry. The moon played hide and seek behind the clouds as the two slipped like comic book detectives through the shadows. They knew that their neighbors, Lynette Preston and her dubious partner, John Crook, were up to no good. Something was rotten in the state of Otter Creek. Crouching behind the bush, Jeremy whispered to George,
"Are you sure this is a good idea?"
George, with her pixie cut barely visible in the moonlight, gave a determined nod.
We need evidence to expose the charlatans and frauds they are, she hissed,
adjusting her glasses so that it slid down her nose during the stealthy approach, Naruto style. The rescue center looked even more like dilapidated in the night. The creaking sign swaying in the breeze like a pendulum of a grandfather clock, marking the time until the Preston's up-and-coming downfall. They watched as Lynette, her purple hair, a wild halo in the dim light, ducked out of back and with a full bucket. That's freaking disgusting. The glint of lunacy in her eyes competed with the gleam of the moon, as she, much to Jeremy and George's simultaneous horror and fascination, proceeded to poop in said bucket with the gusto of a raccoon getting into the world's worst trash can. Oh my God. That's disgusting, brother.
Is she? No, she can't be. Jeremy startled, but George clamped a hand over his mouth, her own eyes wide behind her spectacles. Oh, it's like watching the car crash in slow motion. She gasped once the initial shock had given way to bemused disgust. Having completely her unsavory deed, Lynette didn't even wipe. She just heaved the bucket, the contents of which were not destined for any rose garden, over to a side area littered with more buckets with varying degrees of fullness.
Oh, God.
George scribbled furiously in her notebook, her documentation meticulous enough to impress a crime scene investigator. Well, that's at least a misdemeanor, she muttered under her breath, or, just extremely gross misconduct. No pun intended.
Mm-hmm.
They observed crook jibby rigging, some kind of faulty contraption with one of the tanks, swearing like a sailor as he fumbled in the dark. "Darn it, Lynette, where you putting the freaking duct tape?" he hollered, unaware of the spine hills. Let's hope he's not engineering the septic tank, Jeremy commented, snorting his joke, which was funny only because it was 3 a.m. They were delirious from their stakeout.
They watched, gathering more and more dirt on their questionable neighbors, when suddenly a twig snapped under George's foot. Crook's head snapped up, his eyes squinted into the darkness. Who there? I have a very aggressive turtle. The Hales exchanged a look that spelled mutual panic. They scurried back to the safety of their own home, mission somewhat accomplished. Once inside, they peered out the window, barely containing their fits of laughter as they watched Lynette and Crook dance around like two mismatched characters in a poorly directed spy film. Tomorrow, Jeremy said, smirking, lifting his sunburned cheeks. We'll have to figure out a way to expose them without getting charged with trespassing or stumbling onto more poop buckets. George nodded, exhilaration coursing through their veins. They were onto something, all right, and they intended to see it through, if not for the turtles and the town's safety, then at least for the sheer comedic value it was adding to their lives in Otter Creek.
Dizzy. I'm so dizzy. Oh, no, it gets like that some nights.
Yeah.
Oh my.
You not done that, them turtles.
Shouldn't have done him that there turtle.
Them turtles. Mustard.
Turtles.
Here's some mustard in my biscuits.
Oh, you should have read the other one. It was even worse than this.
The one?
No.
Without the poop buckets.
Oh.
Oh no. Why am I scared? Oh my god. Chapter 6, The Sting Operation. The sun dipped below the horizon at Otter Creek, painting the sky in dusky purples and oranges. It was showtime. Operation Turtle Takedown, as George had dramatically named it, was ready to commence. If anything, the Hales were serious about their whimsy.
I didn't get rid of. Son of a bitch.
All right, double check your walkie-talkies,
George whispered, her eyes narrowed with the focus of a cat stalking a laser pointer. Jeremy fiddled with his device, clicking with a staticky pop. Jackaroony, he replied, with the stealth of a bull in a china shop. The couple huddled beneath the particularly bushy hydrangea. Binoculars at the ready, their plan was simple. Catch Lynette and Crook red-handed in whatever nefarious activities went on at the turtle rescue by night and record it for prosperity and the authorities. Jeremy had insisted on bringing a monkey plush with the camera for the eyes. Quote, for the element of surprise, unquote.
Dun, dun, dun.
We're squatting in a bush, not hosting a children's show, Jer.
George had chortled, but there they were, with the plushy pal in tow.
I don't know where the plushie came from.
Oh my.
They watched Lynette and Crook, who had begun the nightly ritual of weirdness. Crook was carrying what appeared to be a bucket, hopefully not the poop bucket, while Lynette was following him, barking orders like the twat cheese.
Make sure you get a good angle on the camera, Jeremy. We need evidence and more solid than their alibi for why they have 17 inflatable flamingos in their front yard last week.
George reminded him. It's not George's voice, by the way, at all. Jeremy winked, a gesture utterly lost in the poor lighting. Trust me, I've got it handled. I have watched at least 3 spy movies today to prepare for this. Dun. Before long, Crook and Lynette started the shenanigans. They were placing the turtles in what looked to be very unofficially and highly concerning racing scenario. Lynette yelled out odds on each turtle, and Crook was marking a starting line with barbecue sauce. Why in the world, we would never know. As George leaned in to get better footage, Jeremy fumbled with the plush monkey camera, accidentally pressing the play button. Suddenly, the plush let out a jaunty tune, "Monkeying around midnight hour." Lynette jumped, startled, dropping her bookie notes. "Crap on a cracker," George hissed as she yanked the plush and smothered the musical outburst they watched, barely breathing as Lynette squinted towards their hideout. Crook gave his partner a nudge and gently told her to be silent.
Is it a psychic monkey? Lynette hissed, a note of awe in her grating voice. Crook shook his head, probably trying to calculate how he could turn psychic monkeys into his next swindle. Yeah, Crook said at last. Ghost monkeys of Otter Creek. They're known to haunt these parts. A blatant lie, but it seemed to satisfy Lynette for now. With bated breath and beating hearts, Jeremy and George finally breathed a sigh of relief as the odd couple went back to their turtle wrangling. Okay, no more musical interludes, Jeremy. This is spy stuff. Not a Broadway debut, George muttered, her tone flittering somewhere between amusement and sheer terror at the close call. The rest of the evening went on without any further slip-ups. Despite the initial hiccup, their footage was golden, filled with inexplicable turtle Olympics, cringeworthy conversations, and enough evidence to turn Otter Creek on its ear. They scurried back to their house, giddy with the thrill of espionage and possible victory. As the two of them reviewed the bizarre evidence sprawled across their living room floor, they couldn't help but laugh. Otter Creek lived up to its name, and the Hales were the newest embodiment of a duo of DIY spy merrymaking heroes, ready to take on the town's strangest. You want me to finish this off?
Yeah, go ahead.
The next step, however, wouldn't be so simple. But they were ready to face whatever spine-tingling trouble Lynette and Crook cooked up with their twisted version of animal husbandry. Jeremy and George, fortified with turtle shell determination and sharp wits, even as sometimes camouflaged by stuffed animal subterfuge, and turtles in a half shell.
Turtle power.
Turtle power. Monkeys should be on the council.
Oh, wow. All right. Chapter 7, The Hale's Haunting. Ever heard the one about the joke of the spook titles? Neither Jeremy and I, until the good-for-nothing duo next door decided to haunt our very existence with their juvenile japes. Lynette Preston and John Crook, having perceived our sting operation as a mild declaration of suburban warfare, commenced a campaign of clownish cruelty that would have made poltergeist scream with envy. Each morning began with a new and bizarre unpleasantness. Monday, we woke up and our mailbox crammed with marshmallow peeps, and it wasn't even near Easter. Tuesday, the doorbell rang at the crack of dawn, summoning us to the porch covered in plastic flamingos posing in rather indelicate positions. By Wednesday breaks, it turned somewhat sinister, as our trusty garden gnome, once a beacon of kitschy charm, now donned a makeshift eye patch with a sign that read, "The turtles now saw too much." And to cap it off, Thursday brought forth a shower of stink bombs lobbed over the fence, and the note attached, "Have a gas-tastic day." Oh, DeWitt. That sounds like one of my one-liners. Jeremy, bless his heart, tried to laugh it off, saying, "Well, at least they're getting their cardio in with all these hijinks." But his eye twitching told me the nuisances were getting to him. Me, I was brewing a pot of retaliation stronger than our morning coffee. Which was this? "I can't believe they're stooping to haunting us with relics from a middle school prank book." I fumed to Jeremy, looking up, trying to dislodge a rubber snake from a ceiling fan in the artifact of this morning's supernatural buffet.
George, listen, he said, pausing a flan to plunk the serpent. I'm miffed too, but let's not stoop to their level, I interrupted. we're not stooping, dear. We're going to scoop down to their level, shovel the muck, the poop, and fling it into a masterpiece. Metaphorically, of course, I declared, seeing his concern. Jeremy's head wrinkled in the thought, they've been as slippery as eels and with their little turtle act, but these pranks are solid evidence of intent to harass, he pondered. Can we turn their antics into our advantage somehow? I smirked. I like where your head's at. These two may have started the prank war, but we'll be the ones to end it. And with that, as the sun dipped below the pines and the sky colored like bruises, we plotted our counterattack. It was going to be hauntingly magnificent.
Chapter 8, Secrets of the Swamp. If there's one thing you need to know about Otter Creek swamps, it's that they can guard secrets better than a grandmother hides her famous cookie recipe. And nobody was keener on prying loose the swamp's sordid stories than the Hales. Jeremy with his tool belt of gadgets, and George with her notepad full of suspicions. With the vitality of two amateur spies in a spy movie, if that movie had a laughably low budget and the spies kept tripping over logs, Jeremy and George embarked on an intrepid incursion to the muckier parts of town. Swatting away bugs with ninja-like precision, or at least that's how George described it, they edged closer to the Turtle Rescue's property line. Remember, we're like shadows, whispered George, donning a wide-brimmed hat that did nothing to help her blend in with the swamp, but everything to protect her from what she called solar assaults. Shadows that squish at every step, muttered Jeremy, who managed to step into every possible puddle, creating a symphony of soggy suction sounds. As they neared the Turtle Rescue, George threw up a hand signal for Jeremy to freeze, a gesture so dramatic that it would have made a theater major proud. They watched from behind a pair of overrun bushes as Lynette and Preston, whatever the fuck her name is, with her unmistakably purple hair, today in a neon shade that could probably be seen from space, waddled around the enclosure carrying a bucket. Not just any bucket, the infamous poop bucket. Jeremy raised an eyebrow towards George, his "I told you so" look perfected over many years of marriage. Don't even start, husband of mine, George hissed. We need photo evidence of whatever nefarious nighttime nasties they're up to. Jeremy, with all the stealth of a bear in ballet slippers, unholstered his trusty smartphone and began snapping pictures. Their quarry was oblivious, but busy chanting what sounded suspiciously like bubblegum pop lyrics in dedication to their shell-covered protégés. Strike a pose. Flagitious flora, Lynette cooed at a large turtle, misusing the word flagitious in a way that made George want to throw her dictionary at her. When Lynette ducked into a decrepit tool shed, the Hales took that as their cue and tiptoed closer. Just as George was pushing a loose plank aside to sneak a peek, the door flung open. There stood John Crook, who jerked back, surprised to find eyes peering through the wall like some sort of creepy wildlife documentary.
George, he pulled back as if recoiling from a skunk spray, because probably the smell was about like that. They needed to skedaddle with a mix of grace and cleverness that only panicked Otter Creek residents could muster. The duo scrambled to distance themselves from the scene of potential discovery. Did he see us? Panted Jeremy as they slowed to a stop in a somewhat drier patch of land. I don't think so, but I got the pictures. Something isn't right, Jeremy. Those tanks shouldn't have those modifications. The modded tanks now will make makeshift locks of what look like hidden compartments where odd enough to make an autologist write a whole book about Otter Creek oddities. Evidence, that's what we have here. Jeremy confirmed, glancing at the partially blurry but incriminating photos. They showed that the turtle rescue was nothing more than a facade for something more sinister. Nodding, the couple knew the next challenge was upon them, getting this evidence into the right hands without tipping off their slippery neighbors. As they made their way home, their hearts were pounding, full of the thrill of their covert operation and possibly from the fear of potentially sinking into shitbog. A plan began to form. It was time for Otter Creek to see the shell game that Lionette and Crook had been playing.
You want me to go ahead and take this one since I got scared?
Yeah. You go right.
I'm sorry, I did it again.
I think it's more funny than anything.
Well, like many things in life, Shizzy's always premature. Come on.
Oh, ow!
That hurt,
dude. I felt that. I felt hurt on that one for you.
No.
Oh, he knows it's out of love.
I don't know if you call that love. I hate to see what it looks like when you kick me nuts when you hate me.
Oh man,
that's the thing. Either people get my jokes or they don't. Whatever.
Yeah, my jokes are like
I only harass those or joke with those that I actually like. So you should feel grateful.
I
could just be sitting here with my thumb up my ass.
Well, it might be more
whatever.
whatever.
Well, yeah. Actually, I'm okay. I'm gonna go mute for a little bit.
Oh my god, I don't even know where I was going with this, but all right, here we go. Let's see. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, ideas, which is worried. That's awesome. I'm getting a few ideas.
Getting a few ideas. Yeah.
All right, here we go. Chapter 9, Shodan Otter Creek. The Otter Creek Down Hall, typically a sanctuary for bake sales and bingo nights, was abuzz with a different kind of excitement. On the McDo stage, fashioned from old plywood and determination, Jeremy and George were ready to turn the neighborhood gossip into a full-blown uproar. As Mayor Tidwell called the meeting to order with a hammer that doubled as a gavel, whispers swept the room like a prairie fire. The Hales had promised a revelation about the dubious turtle rescue operated by Lynette Preston and John Crook, and the townsfolk were chomping at the bit. Lynette and Crook had sauntered in, smug smiles painted across their faces, clearly underestimating the sleuthing skills of the DIY enthusiast and his Spitfire partner. Seated in the front row, their matching turtleneck sweaters were a bold-fashioned statement or a turtle propaganda. Either way, it was an eyesore. Jeremy stepped up first, his sunburnt complexion growing brighter under the interrogation of the stage lights. Folks, he began, pausing for dramatic effect.
We all love our turtles here in Otter Creek, but not all of us have turtles' best interest at heart.
Murmurs of intrigue rippled throughout the hall. George gasped. Lynette leapt to her feet, the abruptness causing her purple hair to...
Top line.
Oh, I missed something?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, right there, George armed.
Oh, George, armed with a stack of photos and witness statements, chimed in with a razor-sharp delivery.
What you see here today is no shell game. It's the grim reality of swampy swindle,
she declared, slapping a photo of the poop bucket onto the projector. The crowd gasped. Lynette leapt to her feet, abruptness causing her purple hair to shift to a way that revealed more scalp than style.
That's organic composting for titles,
she screeched, her face reddened to match her hair. John
say what you want. That's my kind of woman right there.
Smoother approach, his grin unfazed as he addressed the crowd.
My good people, we're simply misunderstood benefactors.
He oozed through his greasy John couldn't quite make the stench of lies. Oh.
Go ahead. You want?
Oh, yeah. Okay. But just as the townsfolk seemed to waver, Jeremy revealed the ace up his sleeve. It covertly filmed a video of Lynette and Crook's late night shenanigans. I almost said emissions. Boogieing among the tanks in what can only be described as a profane rendition of the Turtle Shuffle. The room erupted into chaos, half in shock and the other half in stitches from uncontrollable laughter. The Hales had them. Lynette's screeching reached a pitch that could summon bats, while Crook's comb-over wilted under the weight of his perspiration. As the meeting descended into frenzied jamboree of accusations and I told you so's, the mayor struggled to restore order, his soft-pounded gavel no match for the magnitude of the debacle. Jeremy and George exchanged a triumphant glance, knowing that they had achieved the first step in their turtle-saving escapade. While Lynette and Crook's facade crumbling faster than a homemade cookie in a toddler's fist, the stage was set for the Hales to lead the final charge. Otter Creek might be odd, but it was about to get justice served on a platter of communal quirkiness and a side of sweet victory.
To voice a worker I did a few years ago. I love Poem the Squirrel. Oh yeah. Go ahead. It's you,
right.
Kaiser.
I'll get it. Chapter 10, Victory and Vindication. The showdown at the Otter Creek town meeting had been every bit of the circus that Jeremy and George had anticipated, complete with their neighbors, Lynette and John Crook, putting on the performance of a lifetime. Their performance had been deserving of Rotten Tomatoes, or at least what many in the audience thought as they watched, as the duo weave a web of blatant lies and all the grace of a hippo and ballet shoes. But the Hales had one more race up their sleeve, and it wasn't just the damning photos or the audio recordings of the late night bucket festivities. It was the shell-clad witnesses themselves, the turtles. And what can only be described as impeccable comedic timing, a cluster of turtle rescue's inhabitants chose the exact moment to reveal the truth of their supposed sanctuary. As if they'd gotten enough of the charade, a brigade of turtles marched into the hall during an open floor debate. A trail of them, a platoon of shell-backed infantry waddled in with purposeful determination toward Lynette and Crook, surrounding them in a phalanx, a slow-moving, the apparent irate suited. God damn it, to Sudanese. Look, I sell propane and propane accessories for a living. I don't do their fancy words and shit.
Sounds like my hometown.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Jeremy, he had to suppress a belly laugh as he watched Lynette's facade crumble, the purple hair on her head seemingly to stand even more on end, if that were possible.
Show your glorious beasts,
she screeched, her true colors shining as vibrantly as her hair. The crowd erupted into laughter when a particularly bold terrapin clambered onto Crook's shoe and with the conviction of a creature wronged, did what Jeremy could only assume was its best impression of Lynette's poop bucket shenanigans right there on the glossy faux leather Oxfords. Oh, the turtle's vindictive little... George couldn't finish her sentence, doubling over with laughter. The townsfolk of Otter Creek, and they were initially shocked, soon joined in the raucous laughter. They whooped and cheered as the turtles one by one began to climb out of their carry crates and baskets brought anonymously to the town as meeting as evidence. The shell shock of the situation easily convinced any doubters in the room. With the tides turned, the Hale's Community Project was unanimously voted to take over the embattled turtle rescue, promising a future of genuine care and rehabilitation for the local reptilian residents. After all, it's not every day the victims themselves manage to dismantle a con job. Oh, and go ahead, Yamaha. There's a few more lines there.
Oh, okay. As Lynette and Crook were unceremoniously escorted out of town, their ignominious exit was heralded by a parade of townsfolk, a few turtles, and yes, their trademark poop buckets, emptied tanks to the swift action of Mr. Terrapin on Crook's shoe. Otter Creek could finally relax and chuckle at the mayhem that had befallen them. And as the sun set over the idyllic town, Jeremy and George leaned on their porch, toasting to victory and vindication with glasses of sweet iced tea, the faint sounds of laughter and turtle coos mixing with the evening breeze. Think the turtles know they're heroes? George mused with a glint in her eye. Jeremy took a satisfied sip. In Otter Creek, anything's possible. And so, harmony was restored, not with a bang, but with a shell and a squelch.
God damn it, Bobby.
God damn it, Bobby.
Shut up, Shizzy. So you guys want to see the other one that I wrote?
Yeah. Why not? While we're here.
I mean, we've got plenty of time.
Yeah.
It's the other one.
Kind of under our normal.
Oh, yeah. Well, we tend to go really, really fast. So the other one is basically the same chapters, just with a little bit of a different twist to it. Thank you. Oh, the other one is so much fun. Let's see if we can change the
hold on to your girdles.
I'll find it. Damn it. Present share screen. Let me make sure we got this correct one here. There we go. Hoorah. I'll have to zoom in again, of course. Boom, 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 boom. There we go.
Goodbye, Megan. See you later.
Hey, you take care. You take care. Heading out. Catch you soon. Oh, we'll be here. We'll be here for a little while longer. And don't forget, I have a Monday morning. I will be doing a stream either from this location or my sunroom. One of the two. We'll figure it out.
Hey, we'll figure that out later.
What do you got going on, Kaiser?
So gonna be getting into some news later on this week. Try and get a little bit. There's been some major things that have come out. So I'll be trying to put together as many videos as I possibly can for this week to get things out and get you guys up to date on some major things that have happened in the entertainment news. But also, don't forget that this coming Saturday, which I believe is the 17th. Yes, it is actually the 16th. So Saturday, March 16th, day before St. Patty's Day, I'm going to be putting together a great big just hangout and just St. Patty's Day little, come hang out, griftathon, whatever you want to do. Try and help me get me to Mutsuri. And otherwise, just have a good old fashioned time. I'm going to actually, I had originally kind of thought about maybe rolling my 1,000 subscriber stream into this. I decided against that, decided to actually go ahead and do my 1,000 subscriber stream like about a month later in April. So I have a better chance of getting more guests that want to drop on by. But yeah, I will be sending out, of course, invitations for everybody that wants to jump on over on St. Patty's. And we're just going to have a good time. There's nothing, we're just here to have a great time. And we're going to have a few drinks while we're at it. That's Scottish, not Irish. Sorry. We're going to have a few drinks there and have a great time while we enjoy each other's company.
And what do you have going on? I have a story.
Just the same thing. Just trying to read stories and do all that. Hope that my voice is going to make it through this.
Oh, well, if it starts to crack, don't worry, it won't sound bad.
Yeah,
It never sounds bad.
But that's it.
Let's see who is up next. That would be Kaiser.
Oakley dokley. Oh, thank you from there, Megan. I appreciate that.
Oh, if you had subbed, yeah, definitely sub.
Oh yeah, say it's a good time. I like to keep everybody up to date with the information.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You know what? And I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, I'm not sure what voice I should do for this one. So, all right. Well, we just go with a good old Robin Leach. There we go. Chapter 1: New neighbors in town. In a quaint and unusually serene town of Otter Creek, nature whispered secrets through its winding creeks and towering oaks. Here, Jeremy and George Hales perched on the edge of a new beginning, their faces alight with the sheer excitement of adventure. Jeremy, the epitome of rugged charm in his muscled frame of unruly brown hair, wiped perspiration from his brow as he hammered the final nail into the birdhouse. Nearby, George had a shape of practicality in her pixie cut, had perpetual layer of dirt on her glasses from the latest gardening foray, chuckled at Jeremy's domestic dispute.
Display.
Good Lord, what is wrong with me tonight?
I don't think she's chuckling at the dispute.
Closed caption for the reality impaired.
Yeah.
Oh my God. All right. As the sun painted the sky. What the hell? As the sun painted the sky in brilliant hues of orange and purple, they noticed a moving truck lumbering down the road towards their new neighbor's house. The vehicle, huffing and puffing like an ancient dragon, rumbled to a halt next door, signaling the arrival of Lynette Peterson and John Crook. Lynette, an odd figure with purple dyed hair and a bewilderingly bald patch, unloaded boxes with a peculiar grace, considering her age. John, with his greasy comb-over and chest forest over his shirt collar, seemed to supervise with a gold-chained imperiousness. Oh, Lord.
Should we go over and offer some help? Muscled Jeremy suggested, a twinge of neighborly duty in his voice. Let's do that, George agreed, through her eyes narrowly slided behind her lens as they approached the peculiar duo. The lot beside their home, once empty and quiet, now housed a so-called turtle rescue, a strange assortment of disheveled tanks and items that certainly didn't scream sanctuary. Otter Creek was nothing if not welcoming, but the sight that unfolded next door set the stage for something less than idyllic. Introductions followed. Lynette pretended to wipe away non-existent dust from her hands, extended a skeletal grip towards Jeremy, while John offered a handshake so aggressively energetic that Jeremy actually did a discreet finger count after. Though pleasantries and false laughter, they learned the couple's altruistic mission to save the shellbacks. George, her beat as keen as a honed blade, tilted her head in interest. Turtle rescue, you say? How fascinating. Have you done this kind of work before? Oh, yes, many times, Lynette responded, her words unsteady as a newborn fawn on ice. Meanwhile, John grunted affirmatively, confirming her claim, his eyes glancing everywhere but into their own.
The Hales left their new neighbors with a promise to keep in touch, but they strolled back to their sanctuary of sanity. George muttered, "Something's not quite right with those two. It's like they're putting on a show. What you think they're hatching some sort of sinister turtle plot, Jeremy joked, a light-hearted chuckle following his words. Still, as night descended upon Otter Creek, both felt the stirrings of uncertainty, like the first rustlings of leaves before a storm. In their cozy living room, Jeremy sketched out ideas on graph paper for a community gardening project they planned to spearhead, while George nursed a cup of chamomile tea. Together, they conversed in soft tones about their dreams for Otter Creek, their voices intertwining like roots. Unbeknownst to them, the strange seed of suspicion planted today was poised to grow into an unruly vine, threading its way into the days ahead. And Andy Dufresne.
I miss Andy
And there it
Dufresne.
is.
I miss Red. God. Good God, man.
He's still waiting at the bottom of the hill.
All right.
Okay. Oh, is it my turn again? Oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay. Jeez, I don't even know what voice to do on this one.
You can always do your own voice if you want to.
Yeah, I know. I probably should. Yeah.
Chapter 2, Turtle Trouble. In the weeks following, Jeremy and George found reasons to be scarce whenever Lionel Peterson and John Crook were visible around the turtle rescue. George had started to document their unignorable quirks. Crook's story about their past ventures changed more often than he changed socks, and Lynette could hardly recount two aligned facts regarding her life before Otter Creek. Each sighting added another tally into the growing list of discrepancies.
What do you think they're actually up to?
George mused one evening as she and Jeremy sat on the porch, enjoying a cool breeze that carried the distant sound of clanging from the turtle rescue next door.
You're an odd couple of ducks, sure,
Jeremy admitted, but with a shrug.
Could just be another flavor of Otter Creek eccentricity.
That's mighty charitable considering Lionette's bald spot seems to be suspiciously shaped for a telepathy blocking helmet.
George wasn't one to beat around the bush, her sentences like a scalpel cutting to the bone. Jeremy chuckled.
You've been watching too many of those conspiracy documentaries again, haven't you?
But George's instincts were honed sharper than her collection of garden tools.
I don't trust him. The tanks over there, they look like they're cobbled together from garage sales and garbage dumps.
She pulled a face.
I've seen cleaner ponds in a pigsty.
Jeremy rested his arm around George's shoulders, squeezing tightly.
If they're up to no good, they can't hide it forever, especially not from you.
They sat together in the evening skies, draped darker layers over the world. Their quiet solidarity, a stark contrast to the uncomfortable, nagging questions that churned in George's mind. The turtle rescue was an enigma wrapped in a dirty, algae-covered mystery. And if George had her way, that mystery would unravel sooner rather than later. Unwelcoming warming. The midsummer sun had tucked itself away beyond the horizon, giving way to a warm Otter Creek evening when Lynette Preston and John Cook, uninvited and unabashed, sauntered up the dusty path porch, each bearing a wide, unnerving, eager grins. Surprise, neighbors! Lynette chirped, thrusting forward a clinking bag that smelled suspiciously of vinegar. Next to her, Crook brandished a limp bouquet of flowers looked like they had been hastily rescued from a nearby ditch. Jeremy, the other peacemaker, greeted them with a cautious smile. "Well, this is a surprise," he said, taking the odd gifts from the hands. Crook, meanwhile, had barged past him, making himself uncomfortable on the couch as if it was his own old recliner.
Resigned to their self-invitation, I stepped into host mode, directing Jeremy to find a vase for the dying flowers. Might as well try to revive them. And took the bag of homemade pickles into the kitchen. Lynette followed me, leaning against the counter with an attempt at seductive ease that made my stomach churn. "You've got a lovely home here," she spurred, her eyes scanning over every detail like it was a piece of meat on the auction block. It's so cozy." Jeremy turned his steps light as he tried to keep the conversation away from rocky shores. Dinner, thankfully, was a simple affair of grilled veggies and marinated tofu, nothing that could be criticized by our self-imposed critics, or I thought so. Crook, with his plate piled high, made some lewd comment about how he liked his food like his women, hot and spicy. Lynette tittered a little too long, nudging me with a sharp elbow. "Isn't he just hilarious?" she wheezed, her laughter reminiscent of a deflating balloon. I caught Jeremy's eye from across the table, his expression a mix of disbelief and a silent plea for the evening to end quickly. We both knew this dinner was a disaster in the making.
Okay. It's very.
I do it because Eris loves that voice. She loves that.
Rub solution on its skin, or else it gets the hose again.
I do me. As I dance in front of a mirror.
Oh, God, no, stop it.
With my lips thick. My potty little lips. I gotta go dance on the pole now. You go ahead and read without me.
It's like, I'm going to keep my mouth shut. I'm sure your mouth is not agape.
You love me.
Oh, my face hurts. Oh,
Oh my goodness. Oh, wow. Conversation, or rather the series of inappropriate anecdotes and backhanded compliments, continued on its downward trajectory. Lynette prattled on about her minister qualifications, although I couldn't recall any religion practicing about the virtues of fleecing the innocent. Crook added his own unsolicited advice for us. "You two should really get to know about getting a proper business going on here, something that makes real hard cash, you know," he said, flashing a gaudy gold-toothed grin. As the meal dragged on, so did my patience. I was ready to breathe fire, particularly after Crook made some outrageously indecent joke about turtles. Jeremy, sensing the eruption brewing within me, wrapped things up hastily.
"It's been an evening. Thank you for the company."
It didn't end there, though. As they stood to leave, both of their embraces lingered too long for comfort, Crook's eyes gleaming with the challenge. Lynette's smile just a tad too saccharine. I ushered them out, and when the door closed, it was as if the house itself let out a sigh of relief.
Yeah, go ahead, finish it.
Okay. Jeremy and I exchanged a look, a silent vow passing between us. This would not stand. Not in our home. Not in our home. In our town. Our Otter Creek, with its penchant for its peculiar, was one thing, but these interlopers were another thing altogether. It was time for some serious turtle trouble, and maybe a bit of neighborly snooping to uncover whatever these two were hiding.
Chapter 4, Snoops and Chirps. An awkward and take dinner with John that presses on Cook, who managed to make every benign.
I was waiting for this one.
What did you fucking say to me?
You guys!
You guys! If you were peeking through the window of the Hale's humble home the next morning, you'd see her pacing back and forth in the kitchen. Her phone pressed to her ear as she punctuated the air with determined jabs. That's right, a restraining order, she declared. A conviction in her voice concise to sneer. Jeremy, who had just walked with a batch of homemade chocolate chip muffins, raised an eyebrow, gesturing toward the phone with the head of his button in hand. Going eagle, huh? He said, his voice not trying to bring some levity to the situation. George pressed the call button and called the little button that said stop calling, talking. And Jeremy turned with eyes ablaze. They've crossed the line, she said, spreading some mild rumors about us around town. No way we're investigating what those two are up to. What? Oh.
And thanks to Handyman, I have no idea where I'm at. Oh, there. Okay. Lost my place. Later that day, as the sun began to slope toward the horizon, painting the sky with strokes of pink and orange, George donned her stealth mode attire, which consisted of dark jeans and a black hoodie. Hardly ninja, but it made her feel the part. Jeremy couldn't help but chuckle. She looked like she was ready for a heist, not a neighborhood snoop.
Or some sort of kinky thing going on tonight.
Should I prepare a decoy? Maybe unleash a dozen rubber turtles in town square, Jeremy quipped, but his smile faded when he saw the grim determination on George's face. No time for jokes. We need to know what they're hiding, she replied. She wasn't just fighting for their peace of mind anymore, but for the integrity of their little town. They crept alongside the boundary of their property, where the rickety wooden fence gave them intermittent views of the so-called turtle rescue. The place was a mess. Tanks that looked like they were salvaged from the trash, hoses leaking questionable fluids, and not a single reptilian resident in sight. Something stinks, and I don't think it's just the swamp, Jeremy whispered, his nose scrunching. Back at home with more questions than answers, George pored over articles online about scammers operating under the guise of an animal rescue. Meanwhile, Jeremy started to reach out to some of his local connections, folks who cared about the town's reputation as much as they did. It was time for Otter Creek to know the full story about who was living next door. And as the Hales geared up for their silent war, little did they know that they were about to uncover something far more insidious than just a couple of con artists with a shoddy turtle facade.
Good evening, Wolfram. Glad you came in, Wolfram.
Hi, Wolfram.
Chapter 5, Midnight Misdeeds. The inky blanket of night had fallen over Otter Creek, and it was a cloak of silence, save for the chorus of crickets singing in the underbrush. Jeremy and George, clad in dark attire suited for stealth, crouched behind the unruly hedge separating their property from the suspicious turtle rescue next door.
Jeremy, his muscles tensed with unease, whispered to his spunky partner in mischief.
Are you sure about this, George? Sneaking around in the dead of night, isn't it a bit much, isn't it?
George adjusted her glasses, the glint of determination visible in the thin slice of moonlight.
It's the perfect time. These two have been up to no good, and we've got to catch them in the act. Besides, don't you want to know what they're hiding?
The pair watched as shadowy figures moved within the ramshackle enclosure of the turtle rescue. Lynette Preston, artificially purple hair, even in the dimness, was unmistakable as she flitted from tank to tank, accompanied by the lumbering presence of John Crook, his limp more pronounced in the haste of their clandestine activities.
Behind the night air was thick with the scent of marshland and mountain sense of intrigue. From their hiding spot, Jeremy and George could make out muffled voices, punctuated by the occasional clink of metal. Perhaps the sound of locks being secured, or the finality of a heavy container sealing shut. Jeremy's heart drummed in his chest, a rhythm sent to the pace of the mission. George, with a level of excitement barely contained beneath her stoic surface, nudged him and pointed towards a particularly large tank from which both Lynette and Crook were now shuffling away. Crook dragged a suspiciously heavy sack behind him.
That's it, George whispered. I saw them putting something in there. The sack, it was squirming.
Jeremy brushed a hand through his unruly hair, nerves momentarily forgotten as he locked eyes with George. Let's circle around for a better look. We need evidence. Carefully enjoyed, avoiding the crunchy fall of leaves and goose gravel, the two crept close to the secluded containment where moonlight gleamed off the water surface within the tank. George pulled out a compact camera, poised her finger over the button, ready to capture whatever they might uncover. It was then, as they edged near the tank's rim, that a pair of resident turtles chose to embark on their own nightmares escapade, their shells clunking loudly against the side of the enclosure, causing the two snooping humans to freeze.
All right. Let's see here.
Gotcha.
Heavy footsteps suddenly approached, and through the gaps in the wooden slates, Crook's gruff whisper sliced through the night. Did you hear that? Someone's out there. Lynette let out a hiss, and a cornered cat, her puppily hair almost bristling with paranoia. Check it out, and bring your bat. The tension thickened as the footsteps grew louder, and an unspoken agreement fueled by adrenaline. Jeremy and George began to slowly inch backward toward the hedge that signified safety. With each backward step, a unified hope lifted their spirits. The hope that their covert operation should not be compromised by their own recklessness. As they reached their own backyard, cloaked once more in shadow and safety, George's breath came out in a hushed triumph. We've got something, Jeremy. Something big. Jeremy's reply was subdued, a mix of relief and foreboding. Knowing that the path ahead was only fraught with unknowns. Let's look at the photo first, then decide our next move. This is only the beginning. The night proclaimed its calm, and as the two retreated into their house, the turtle rescued mysteries, temporarily left behind, marinating in the moon's silver gaze.
So are you trying to do the executioner from Blazing Saddles, or?
I have no idea what I was doing.
No, that was totally Bela Lugosi.
No, or fucking what's his face? The other dude. I don't know. The other one was awesome.
Oh my god, that was perfectly spot
That's
on.
awesome.
Love that.
I loved it. Oh, that's beautiful.
Boris Karloff. There you go. Thank you,
Yes,
Wolfram.
Boris,
Yes.
There you go.
Thank you,
There you
Wolfram.
go. I'm having a brain fart.
It sounds remarkably also like the executioner
The
from Blazing
executioner
Saddles.
guy. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I thought
He's
all
so
I should
funny.
call it.
Yeah.
I've got 3 minutes home, thick with the flu.
And yeah, and what was it? Men in Tights too. Didn't he do that on Men in
Yeah, he
Tights too?
did that one as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, what's
Men in
going
Tights.
16 and a
Yeah.
half.
Oh god, that guy's hilarious.
Oh my god. I wish that I could enjoy my job as much as that guy does.
Yeah. Oh, god.
The comedy to take me away. Ha ha. Hee hee. Ha.
Oh lordy.
Cold-hearted, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz? All my French drive Porsches. The party never ends.
Oh. Yeah. You know what the difference between a porcupine and a Porsche is?
Well, you get to have sex with whatever gets into that Porsche, but you don't want to have sex with whatever gets into that porcupine.
I was just going to say that with a Porsche, the pricks are on the inside.
Yeah.
Tell me you've heard that one before.
Yes, I have. That's
Yeah.
why I made something up.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. More for the audience than anything else. All right, there we go. Chapter 6, the sting operation. In order to create the dust was of deception rarely settled, and for Jeremy and George it swirled like a tempest around their oddball neighbours, Lynette, Preston and John Crook. Convinced that their turtle rescue was nothing more than chicanery, the Hales hatched a plan to catch the swindlers in the act. Eureka! George exclaimed, brandishing a set of walkie-talkies with the same zeal as a pirate would treasure. With these, we can coordinate like pros. It's a foolproof sting operation. Despite George's confidence, Jeremy couldn't shake off the nervous flutter in his gut.
You know, there's a good chance of a cloak and dagger stuff. Last time I tried something like this, I accidentally glued my hands to the binoculars.
Relax, George assured him, handling him the walkie-talkies. Just keep the glue away from the equipment. This time it's gonna be smooth like butter and twice as slick. After nightfall, the Hale duo crept through the shadowy underbrush toward the turtle rescue, blending into the darkness as if they were part of the scenery. Jeremy, toggling his walkie-talkie, whispered,
Goldfish the Sparrow, can you read me over?
The starter crackled swiftly, followed by George's voice. Loud and clear, Goldfish. Operation Turtle Triumph is a go, over. Perched behind a cluster of shrubs, George's eyes glinted through binoculars, observing Lynette and Crook slink through the dilapidated structures of the turtle rescue. The duo behaved suspiciously, exchanging heavy parcels that clearly weren't turtle feed.
Jimmy's job, it was straightforward. When George gave the signal, he was to trim the hidden camera to document the illicit exchange. But tension makes for shaky fingers, and in the anxiety of the moment, Jeremy fiddled nervously with the gadgets in his pocket. And I'm sure that's all he was fidgeting with in his pocket. A miniature container of super glue he had forgotten to leave behind. Why would you do cotton picking? Goldfish the Sparrow, something's happening. Get ready to snap the picture. On my mark. George trailed off just as Jeremy fumbled to cause the cap of glue to pop off. The sticky adhesive oozing onto his fingers and subsequently the camera. Now, Jeremy, now. Beeping the camera. Its flash pierced the darkness. The sting operation, however, was met with a comic strip of errors as Jeremy discovered the camera, and the camera glued solidly to his hands while the camera itself hissed and fizzled. Victim to a not-so-well thought-out liquid encounter, George's exasperation echoed through the walkie-talkie. Goldfinch, what the devil happened? Over! Gritting his teeth, Jeremy muttered a sheepish response. Slight miscalculation with adhesive sparrow. The camera might have taken an unscheduled nap. Over and out. Back at the base, which was really just their cozy living room, the couple sighed at the unfruitful turn of events. Cloaked in the hush of a nighttime, they shared a moment of, God damn it, Kenny, of unintended comedy amid their earnest espionage efforts. Okay, so maybe the clue isn't our friend in such operations, George conceded, helping Jeremy pry the camera off like a bandage from skin.
But it was far from over. Both of them knew that Lana and Craig's false match day and Clay for mischief was boundless. The real hustle had only just begun, and the loud whispers of Otter Creek and the new chapter of Chicago was about to ensue.
Chapter 7. The Hale's Haunting. It was Thursday evening, the kind that meandered into night with a golden laziness only found in the dog days of summer. Jeremy and George sat on their porch sipping iced tea, trying to let the day's heat dissipate into the light breeze. Then, with the first sign of retaliation made, itself rather ominously known. Eggs, George muttered in a frown, her voice a mix of disbelief and annoyance as she watched a stray yolk slowly journey down the front of their window. Our neighbors have resorted to egging our house. How very juvenile. Jeremy set his glass down, the ancient oaks casting long shadows as night began to envelop Otter Creek. The dance of lightning bugs, usually a delight, seemed now to punctuate their dismay. Oh, it doesn't end here, he sighed. In the dwindling light, they could make out toilet paper festooning the limbs of their beloved cypress trees like the specters of disgruntled ghosts. A garden gnome, abducted from their flower bed, was now stationed brazenly atop their mailbox, flipped upside down in mocking distress. George's grip tightened on the porch swing chain, a clear indication that her patience was wearing thinner than the soiled TP. Lynette and Crook, she spat, have no idea who they trifled with. The oddities didn't cease at petty vandalism. Night after night, weird events shook the Hale household. A strange tapping noise woke them at all hours, as if bony fingers rapped upon their windows. But no culprit was ever spotted. Their mail was jumbled bills mysteriously swapped with old-timey love letters or pamphlets for turtle-themed religious revivals. Jeremy, the ever the optimist, wanted to believe it was some local kids, but George knew better. It's them, she insisted. They're trying to drive us mad. It's psychological warfare. Jerry and I won't have it. Then came the pièce de résistance. The morning their lawn was found laden with dozens of plastic flamingos. They stood, sentinel in the dawn, gazing creepily into the nothingness as if part of an avian-themed horror story. Okay, that's impressive. Jeremy couldn't help but chuckle, despite the intrusion.
Work fair. The Hatfields and the McCoys. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
But it was the peculiar gifts left on their doorstep. A taxidermy turtle with a bow, a crudely drawn comic depicting the Hales as clueless city folk that pushed them over the edge. It was meant to fuzz the lines of reality, to creep beneath the skin like a muggy heat of a swamp. Jeremy's faith in humanity trembled like a leaf in a storm.
Why can't they just leave us be?
He wondered aloud, his frustrations simmering like a pot on the verge of boiling over. George's hands on hips, eyes fierce with the tenacity that drove her actions, answered with resolved conviction.
Oh, how they thrown the gauntlet now. And guess what? They've picked the wrong neighbors to haunt.
She drew up plans grandiose and delightful cunning. Because if there's one thing you should know about George, it's that her mind is a treasure trove of creative retribution. Whoa. Radical. As night settled once more on Otter Creek and the cacophony of nocturnal creatures filled the air, it became evident what the quaint little town was teetering on the brink of an all-out prank war. And the Hales, well, they were gearing up to serve some haunting of their own. Dude. Tenacious.
I figured with the turtle theme, I had to try some TMNT in there.
Yeah.
Little Mikey.
You're muted, Shit.
The look of dismay on his face.
The dawn air was thick with the scent of wet earth as Jeremy and George slipped on their mud boots, geared up for a foray into the outskirts that bordered the turtle rescue. Each step squelched beneath their feet the marshy terrain, making their progress slow but steady. Otter Creek was never short on mysteries, but the murky depths of its swamps were where secrets festered in silence. Today, they hoped one of those secrets would come to light.
Okay, here's the plan.
George whispered, her voice barely rising above the hum of the cicadas.
We need to find solid evidence. Photos, videos, anything that shows that Line and Crook are really up to when they think no one is watching.
Jeremy nodded, adjusting the strap of the night vision camera around his neck. Just tell me one thing, he murmured, pausing to glance back at the shadowy figure of the turtle rescue behind them. Are you okay with this? I mean, we're practically wading into their lair. George smirked, her determination undimmable despite the sobering circumstances. Babe, after those stunts they pulled on us, I'd wade into a pit of quicksand if it meant stopping them. They pressed on, the cacophony above allowing only slivers of the rising sun to guide them. Fog, it clung to the surface of the water, transforming the landscape into a scene from a Gothic novel. It was here, amidst the tangle of roots and whispering reeds, that they discovered what they had been searching for.
Draped over a low-hanging branch, a series of netted enclosures extended into the water. Turtles of various sizes paddled listlessly, their shells abraded and their movements lethargic. It was a heartbreaking sight, or far cry from the purported sanctuary Lynette and Crook had advertised. By all that's holy, Jeremy's voice trailed off, his horror etched into the lines of his face. It was a makeshift holding pen for the turtles, with conditions no better than those at the decrepit Turtle Rescue Center, if not worse. George's eyes roamed over the sad enclosure before her, the sense of justice in her flaring like a wildfire. Quick, get pictures. This is animal cruelty. As Jeremy worked the camera, documenting every inch of the squalid conditions, George scanned the shore for anything else that might be of use. Among the muck and detritus, I can't remember how to pronounce that. She found it. A battered detritus. There you go, detritus. There you go. She found it. A battered notebook, half buried in the mud. The pages within were smeared and waterlogged, but the handwriting was still recognizable. Lists of names with dollar amounts next to them, illegible notes, scrawled plans. They had stumbled upon Lynette's ledger.
Sorry.
You want me to keep going? What do you?
Yeah.
Hello. Am I here all by myself?
Go ahead, guys.
I was just goofing off because he had the little thing half covered my face.
I'm sorry.
Turtle.
I was having fun with it.
Well, we love it too. We really do. This is what we do for fun on a Sunday morning evening.
This is always the highlight of my week. All right. With the gathering light came a heightened risk of being discovered. They pocketed the evidence and retreated, retracing their steps back through the swamp with a newfound urgency. Once safely home, they locked the door behind them and laid out their findings on the kitchen table. This could be what we need to blow this whole scam wide open, Jeremy said, breathing heavily from exhilaration and exertion. Pardon me. Georgia's gaze was steely, her mind racing with possibilities.
We need to sort through this ledger carefully. Look for any contacts or connections or anything to make our case ironclad. We need those slippery eels. We can't let those slippery eels wriggle out of this one.
The Hales looked at each other, an unspoken understanding passing between them. They were in this together, come what may. Passed the grape upon. As they sat there, surrounded by the evidence of the turtle rescue's insidious underbelly, the quiet of the morning was shattered by the sudden, jarring ring of the telephone. They exchanged a glance, the same thought flashing through their minds. There was no going back now. It was time to face whatever came head on. That's what she said.
Just take it right in the face.
Pass the grape upon. The town hall, usually a sedate place reserved for the mundane squabbles over hedge heights and parking violations, was buzzing with the unusual intensity. Word had spread like wildfire through Otter Creek. The Hales had uncovered something big, and it was all going to come out at the meeting. The Otter people, let's come to the Otter. Mayor Tinsley clanged the spoon against his coffee mug, and the town's makeshift gavel, since the original had been lost in the great bake sale fiasco of 2008. Jeremy and George squeezed through the throng, clutching a manila envelope stuffed with photos and notes, each step towards the front, intensifying the murmurs of the crowd. Lynette Preston and John Cook entered just behind them, oozing a full concern of poorly masked undercurrent of nervous energy. They waved to the familiar faces, their smiles a shade too bright. Those little bastards. Out of innocence, they tried to exude and convincing as a $3 bill. All right, Mayor Tinsley finally boomed to silence. The Hales have the floor. Jeremy's heart throbbed in his throat as George took the lead, her voice surprisingly steady. Fellow hunters, creekers, we stand before you today with heavy hearts. Our suspicion regarding the turtle rescue run by Lynette and John have borne fruit. Bitter and rotten fruit.
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 Oh, my.
Gasps punctuated the statement as George began unfolding his harrowing tale, their harrowing tale. Photographs were passed around, murky shots of midnight turtle trades, ledgers scrawled with dubious figures, and testimonials from concerned citizens who trusted the pair with donations. The crowd's muttering crescendoed into an uproar, some calling for immediate action, others looking for a tree. Others refusing to believe their beloved, though eccentric neighbors could do such things. Lynette took to the stage dramatically, her purple hair quivering like a furious storm cloud. Lies! Foul slander from folks who don't understand the burdens of charity work. She gestured with wildly at the evidence, attempting to downplay it with the grandiose claims of her and John's sacrifices and dedication to the shelled citizens of our community. John stood behind her, nodding like a bobblehead whose spring had seen better days, his comb-over unfurling in the heat of the spotlight. Mayor Tinsley, visually flustered by the competing narratives, appealed for calm.
The people over the creek, we must not be hasty. We will investigate. We will seek the truth. We will.
His voice trailed off as he noted the townsfolk's divided attention, the balance of public opinion teetering on a knife edge.
All right. You want to keep going, or
please keep going? Please keep going.
Okay. Without missing a beat, George revealed their race. Without missing a beat, George revealed their ace. There's more, Mayor. We have witnesses to their shameless exploitation. Her fingers pointed at a group of turtles that had been inconspicuously placed at the back of the hall, each carrying a tiny banner. That Chinese banner. Each carrying a Chinese banner. No turtle soup! No turtle soup! No turtle soup! Each banner that read, "Fake Sanctuary." The sheer absurdity of the spectacle. Jeremy and George arguing on behalf of a silent turtle tableau swayed the audience from skepticism to curious amusement. Excuse me. Mayor Tinsley huffed, pressing his hands into his temples as if to squeeze clarity from the chaos.
We shall deliberate this matter thoroughly. For now, I urge you to all go home and keep a peaceful mind.
The meeting ended in a crescendo of chatter as the townspeople filed out. The Hales knew the battle was far from over. They had won a minor skirmish this evening, but the war for the truth and the fate of Otter Creek's turtles was just beginning.
Oh, my.
This one's what you're on, please. Oh.
All right. Well, I guess I got to get doing on this now.
Chapter 10, Victory and Vindication. As the town meeting reached a crescendo of accusations and denials, it seemed like a chaotic tide was turning in favor of Lynette Preston and John Crook. The townsfolk of Otter Creek were a trusting bunch, and the dramatic pleas for the self-proclaimed turtle survivors certainly pulled at their heartstrings.
It's like you don't know some corny daytime drama.
George whispered, her hands fisted on her hips as they watched from the back. Jeremy nodded, squinting against the bright lights of the gymnasium that had been turned into a massive courtroom of public opinion. His DIY sensibilities knew the foundation of the solid case required more than just suspicions. It required concrete proof. That proof waddled in unexpectedly. It walked in as the reproach for a star witness, a procession of turtles. Their slow and steady march seemed to mark the rhythm of justice itself, an escaped bunch from one of the shabbily maintained tanks. They brought the proceedings to a stunned silence, then amused chuckles, and finally to a pondering halt as people began to question how the poor reptiles had actually been treated under Lionel Cook's care.
Oh my god, I'm dying. Okay, scroll.
Oh my god.
With the exception of the
Oh, sorry.
That part killed me. Chuckles. I don't know why. Chuckles. I don't know why.
chuckles.
With
the attention of the room captured by the shut comrades, Jeremy sees the opportunity.
Folks, I think there's little friends here that have something to say about their living conditions. I had to go Kermit.
The townspeople murmured in agreement. The earliest sentiments of sympathy for Lynette and Crook now mixed with doubt and indignation. George joined in.
Remember, the patchy tanks we showed in the pictures, now you can see the results with your own eyes.
They had to do Miss Piggy.
Oh, I can't do Miss Piggy. I can't do it. Oh, Kermit.
Yeah. We showed the pictures.
I can't quite get Miss Piggy. I can almost get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are on your own. Yeah.
All right, I guess.
I'm afraid I'll sprain a nut. then I'll be out of commission for a while. The hell happened to you? Well, no, I was trying to do Miss Piggy. And
you were trying to do Miss Piggy.
You squealed.
Yeah.
Tried to do Miss Piggy's voice and you herniate yourself.
Yeah. Oh, that testicular torsion.
So let's be serious.
Why so serious?
So some townsfolk moved in to assist the turtles, creating an impromptu rescue operation right in the middle of their meeting. It was the moment of unity Otter Creek was famous for, and as each turtle was safely secured away from the clutches of the duplicitous duo, the scales of justice tipped towards the Hales. Seems to me, old man Jenkins spat from his vantage point near the podium.
What we gonna have is a case of the class of turtle tortfeasance.
That got a healthy laugh and shook the last vestiges of doubt from the crowd. As the evening wore on, the evidence became undeniable. Accounts of Lynette's and Crook's inappropriate behavior with those turtles, those dirty little pinkies. The discrepancies of their stories, the midnight misdeeds, all culminated in infutable thirst. Otter Creek would not stand for the mistreatment of these carousel dizzyings of tolerant miscreants who sought to profit from them. The final nail was driven not by the thunderous speech, but by a phone call placed live to the supposed parent organization of the turtle rescue. The Hales had the phone next to the microphone, and the voice on the other end confessed to never having heard of the Lynette Preston or John Cook, let alone the sanction of the rescue center at Otter Creek.
Defeated and humiliated, Lynette's purple hair seemed to droop, and Crook's comb-over wilted as they were escorted from the town hall by a couple of no-nonsense deputies who were more than happy to ensure the town's wildlife villains were paraded out of town, never to return. The Hales project to create a true sanctuary for turtles was unanimously voted in amidst cheers and pats on the back. As Jeremy looked over at George, her glasses reflecting the smiling faces of their fellow townspeople, he realized that though they had won a measure of victory, Their adventure in Otter Creek was just beginning. The true victory was vindicating the innocent and preserving the quirky charm of their beloved town.
Oh.
The end.
The end.
The end.
So I figured out that my audio settings, I got to change the actual setting from what I have it set at to a different one so that I can do Elmo and it doesn't cut me off.
Oh, it worked.
Oh.
It worked.
Yeah.
You didn't cut off at all the whole time. It was perfect.
Yeah, no, that one was good. Yeah, it wasn't because I think you were having trouble with that one before.
Yeah.
When we did that a month or so ago.
Yeah.
I think that's this one was fine.
I did a little bit of audio checking and I'm like, you know what? Let me check. Let me switch this around from like the deep voice balance to just balance across the board, see what happens. And it worked fine.
Good morning, Yuta Herman.
So when you're going through and doing that, like when you're doing live, is that just what you're doing through what live stream? I mean, StreamYard or just on your own side?
I have a audio like software that actually processes my voice and stuff like that. So I was able to just go to settings and just switch the equalization setting.
Oh, okay.
Your cheeks are hurting from laughing so hard. Oh, you
imagine what happens whenever we have a full crew and have both all of us and then Diva and Ballstorm.
Oh my God.
Trust me, you would be on the floor, clutching your side, especially if Ballstorm was here doing his Aqualis!
Or how about them damn chocolate pudding pops? He just
talking about the pudding pops and the picture pages, the Bill Cosby voice.
As I've got chocolate pudding pops. I mean, he has Bill Cosby down to a T.
Oh yeah,
God, it's hilarious. I mean, we ourselves, we laugh so hard because we're having so much fun doing this, and we enjoy doing this on a nice weekend. It's the end of the week. We're just sort of unwinding because life is sort of one of those stressful things that happens throughout the rest of the week.
Eris is getting sleepy on me.
Oh, you're such a tease.
Don't fall asleep on me, Eris. I'm not done yet.
Are you messing with Eris? I don't think that's very nice, but it's funny.
Stop messing with Eris.
No.
So jealous.
She wants me to groan at her.
Oh yes, it is. It is a good downtime, and we. Nobody else chose this. I sort of chose doing the Hales because I thought it was an interesting and fun story because the characters and you can throw some stuff in there and AI pretty much takes over for you. Therefore, the poop buckets.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I do have to say because we've come across some pretty funny ones from from AI.
Oh yeah,
that have thrown us some pretty weird curveballs that have been kind of hard to whack through those weeds. But this one turned out really well. I think.
Yes,
we didn't seem to have any of those hiccups like we've had before.
Well, and I was getting the AI like to a point where I could make it work much better. There's little intricacies to it that you have to figure out to make it not get all screwy. And then once you get that like right, the story comes off really good and smooth and quick. And next week I will, and what I figured is, although I love the input from the chat, if you have ideas, shoot it to me in my email or Discord or Twitter. Just DM me in Twitter if you're just like, oh, I've got this great idea that would be awesome. I can punch it in there. And the way that we usually do this is there's usually we'll pick some characters. Sometimes we'll pick people from our chat. Sometimes we'll pick people that are on our panel. And we just like to make fun. And you find out some interesting story about them. Missed it? No, Gutters Pub. You never missed it. It'll be
just for you, Gutters Pub.
Gutter,
by the way.
If I sent you an invite, you come on here. You're gonna talk dirty to me. Just ask you because I'll send you an invite. You'll have to come in here and you'll have to face your worst fear, and that's Yamaha moaning at you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but she likes it. She and Eris like it, so call that a fear.
And just thank you very much, Eris. I appreciate that. Oh, right in front of me, story.
See, it puts me in a rock and a hard place because if I don't do it, then Gutter's pup yells at me, and if I do it, then Eris yells at me. So I'm just going to sit in the middle of the hard place and play with myself and watch the chaos unfold.
Let me see. I'm gonna see if I can. I'm gonna send an invite over to Gutter Girl over on the Discord side, so that way she has one if she wants to jump in here and she give us a hard time. Oh, it's awesome. A hard place.
Dick in a hard place.
That's right. Rock in a hard place.
Wolfram leads into a foxhole. Come out of here. Eris, I'll send you an invite too, and you're welcome to come on, and you two ladies can fight it out over Yamaha.
Over the groans. That's all I'm good for. I'm just a piece of meat.
We'll see which one can make him moan the most. I'll totally do it too. You know I will. Don't ever doubt me. If I had that's Eris. I mean, come on, you're a vampire. You can't fake that. There we go. So I sent one to Gutter Girl and I sent one to Eris, both on Discord. They can come fight it out over you. God, that's such fun.
Yeah.
No,
I did miss it. Yeah, we were out there for a while.
So missed Sunday nights.
Yeah,
I know. It
just sucked.
Hey, real world gets in the way sometimes. You know, got to take care of the 3D life stuff.
Well, and whenever Diva said that she wasn't going to be able to make this, she had a lot of stuff going on 3D world. It's okay. Yeah. That's how it is. I mean, all of us the past month, we've just been chomping at the bit to do this, but because, this comes up, that comes up, we have this going on, things happen, and it's just all about having fun. Just a play toy story.
I am just a play toy. I am.
Get used to it. Just a piece of meat.
It's like I have two giant kitty cats, and I'm just a toy in between them, and they're just battering me around.
They're slapping it around like playing with it.
Like that's all I
yarn
balls.
Balls?
Balls of yarn. Yarn balls. Balls of yarn. Their nails caught in it. They're doing this number like this.
Oh, Lordy.
Let's go use the meat. Come on, Eris, let's go use the meat. No, they want to use the meat up there. Oh my gosh. Bam in the house. Welcome, Dennis Morton. Good to see you. Yes, we do this. We do this on Sunday nights. I started early so that way everybody can, has a chance to get on. They have the opportunity. And I'm not keeping them up past their bedtime, which, we're known to do these kinds of things and keep everyone up well into the wee hours of the morning.
Eris, you're definitely my number one vampire. Yes, you are.
There you go.
You are my number one vampire.
Wolfram peeks on the foxhole.
The coast is clear.
What's up? Oh. Thank you for that. Oh my gosh. No, it's all about this whole Sunday has always been about just having a little bit of fun, unwinding from all the politics, all of the weird stuff that's going on in our lives. We have a laugh, we have humor, we poke fun at each other, we laugh at everybody does like amazing job at their voices, and we appreciate that so much. Y'all are on an 85-inch TV. Oh,
I'm bigger than
wow.
most.
Oh,
I don't know.
You might get close to life size with me then.
On an 85. Hey, oh, yeah.
So that means it's bigger.
Was that Paul? Who was that the other night? MG or somebody? MG Law or somebody? Was that you, Paul, that took a still and then sent that picture in where you're watching FNL or something? I can't remember. It was on the other night. Took a still, and I think Rabbit and I think the expert and some other people were on there. That's pretty funny.
Don't compete with me, Harris. Let's beat him together. You take one side, I'll take the other. I love it. Life size is always good. You know it is. No, your children bought it for you because you have bad eyesight. Oh, well.
Oh, okay. Maybe that wasn't what I was thinking of.
I was thinking that, you just like to see us get all down and dirty. Gotcha.
I'll go right up the middle. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Oh my God. Oh, and you love gaming? Awesome.
Oh,
Lefty does gaming. He's coming back in and he's starting to do some more gaming, which is really cool. Nice. As soon as I get my actual computer hooked back up, I can do some more game streams, but I just haven't had the opportunity.
You still have to show me how StreamYard or Streamlabs works too.
Oh, really? I haven't showed you how Streamlab works yet?
No, we tried scheduling a couple of times and then everything fell through the floor.
Well, shit, if you got time tonight, I can show you. We won't be here for much longer.
I think I'll be pretty good.
Oh my gosh. It is.
I already know I'm not going to sleep well tonight because of the time change, and I decided to screw the melatonin. I'm just going to go for it.
Yes, yeah. Lefty is. I'm in agreement with you. Streamlabs is super easy to run.
I imagine it would be once I get it down and I understand it. But yeah, unfortunately, I am not a patient person in some regards.
I get those ones confused because I don't use any of them. So what is the difference with the Streamlabs? Is that what you do for?
So whenever I
Twitch
run
or
games,
whatever, Twitter?
whenever I run games, I'll run Streamlabs because it doesn't use up as much processing because StreamYard is a browser based, whereas Streamlabs is interface based. It's more computer based. So
yeah, it doesn't suck all your bandwidth down, and so StreamYard has a very bad problem of it lags, it stutters, graphics look awful, whereas I have that same problem with Streamlabs. So
yeah, Streamlabs moves really super smooth. It's such a pleasant thing to use whenever you're gaming. And I'm with you there on that, Lefty, because I'm a complete buffoon whenever it comes to doing Streamlabs and stuff like that. I just managed to, for whatever reason, figure it out. It just something clicked, and whenever it clicks, it just makes sense, and you go, "Yeah, I got this."
I'm waiting for that click.
Ooh, I can.
Yeah, I'm a tech idiot. I mean, you want me to cut up pipes and do shit like that, build you an entertainment center. Like I'm gonna finish off the work and do the stone and stuff around our fireplace too. So that kind of stuff, yeah, I do. But tech stuff, nah. You want it destroyed, give it to me.
Yeah,
I'll kill it real quick.
Oh yeah. So what'll probably happen tonight is we'll end up over. I'll drop everybody over onto MG Laws tonight. And I may end up showing up over there because MG Law is really good guy. And we've been sort of following through with. Hold on,
the pipe player.
It takes
not professional.
this takes a lot out of your voice doing this, especially whenever you do multiple voices, because you can go anywhere from doing a high voice to a low voice to doing Elmo, and I mean, it's just you guys have no idea how wearing this is, and we're doing it as three people. We normally have six people, so you get that chance to rest your voice a little bit in between. You're going on an hour of sleep. That's it. Shame on you.
Yeah, I can already feel mine kind of getting weird on me again. And just from the short amount that I did, just between reading how I would normally read and then trying to do some of the other stuff, it's wanting to break out on me. It's still not quite there. So
yeah, I can tell. I can tell it's really close, but I can feel the little cracks in it. And Eris, I'm giving you a hard time. I know how hard you work at everything that you're doing. You were like,
Eris is awesome. Oh yeah, she was great at all that.
I mean, she's been helping me out so much getting the Discord done, and I've been fooling around with it, just making sure that I have it all up and running, because I want to make sure that whenever it comes out that I can just slap that Discord up there in the private chat. Everybody will be able to jump in there. They'll go, oh yeah, this is cool. Like, but the problem is right now, because I want to be able to give you guys something in Discord, and I want to be able to hang out with you guys and talk with you and converse with you, so you actually get a chance to see me outside of the YouTube thing. Where you can speak to me very candidly. You can ask me all kinds of questions, and the thing is because I'm on my laptop and because of my work schedule and construction work going on around the house, I can't do that. So I've sort of been hesitant about putting it up and that kind of stuff. Oh, look at that. Yeah, see, you're getting hit on there. Paula Carpenter, she'll set you up, brother.
What's that? Oh.
Oh yeah, we have fun playing like 3 different games. It's awesome. And story is already in there. Nice. Very nice.
Where am I?
In my Discord. Yeah.
She's got me spread all over the place.
She likes to keep you spread.
She does. Keep me all spread out.
So Yamaha, you've seen some of the Hale's
right
issues that have been going on.
Yeah.
You've sort of been following that in the background. What is your take on all of it?
I think the initial thing was, I mean, obviously this, no diagnosis or anything, but in my opinion, this woman's got some severe issues that I think are potential residual effects of also drug-induced issues as well. And that was her whole thing. She is one of these types of individuals that thinks she's deserving of everything, and because she feels slighted because they weren't going to just start dumping piles of money on her or whatever. This is all a vengeance thing. This is all about money. She got her hackles up. So, and from my understanding, I don't know all the intricacies and ins and outs, but from my understanding, this is not the first time that something like this has happened. So, and it is very creative. I don't, experts right. When you listen to that judge, and you hear what he's saying and the way that he's acting, he acts as though he's in a classroom going through the scenarios that they go through and all this other. But he has no business being on the bench, in my opinion. None at all.
No. Because
everything that he has done is just violating one constitutional right after another, and therefore the law. And in my opinion, everything that he then has to say is null and void. You can't bar somebody from a fucking public roadway. That's the one thing that's got me pissed off so much about this.
Yes.
And they can't even access or even walk around on the front part of their own property. Are you fucking kidding me?
Because
this guy needs to have his head unscrewed and his wires reattached.
Well, and agree, because it's more than just about the Hales. And the Hales recognize that too. If this judge can do this to somebody that is actually showcasing what in the hell is going on with this judge. Just think about the people that you don't see. The people that are sitting there, they don't have any sort of platform. They don't have a way of speaking out about this. And that's what scares me the most about all of this in the first place, is that, this is just the Hales. This is what you're seeing coming from the judge.
Right.
What about the other cases that he's had, the other places that he's been? And, and exactly what you said about him, and somebody else says this also. They said the judge does sermons from the bench. No, he doesn't do sermons from the bench. What he's doing is he's viewing this as he's sitting in a classroom and he's teaching a bunch of idiots, is what he views it as.
Yeah.
This is a judge that is so full of himself that thinks that he knows the law better than everybody else because he's been teaching forever. And I know exactly how the law is supposed to work. And this is how the law is. And this is how it was written. And he's going to try to trip you up with all the little bullshit intricacies of it. If you say was instead of them, and it just little words that he's wanting to throw in there to try to get you all screwed up. And he's doing it as a professor, just like you said, Yama. He's doing it as a professor. And instead of actually viewing what's coming in as using critical thinking, because him as a professor has no critical thinking. This is what the book says. This is how it goes. The answer has to be A, B, C, D. There is no varying. There is no shades of gray. There is no questioning somebody else whenever they say something. And that's where it becomes the biggest problem. It's not a sermon. It's just that he is so full of himself that he thinks he is absolutely right. Yes, it is a God complex, D. Robertson.
Yeah, he likes to hear the sound of his own cockwasher flapping in the breeze. And it also goes back, I mean, we don't know what everything else is behind the scenes as well, as far as that. That is such a weird dynamic. But I think part of it also goes into that they're out of towners. And it's that typical good old boy mentality that they're out of towners. And like that one, when you see it, I think it was the game warden when he makes that mention about, oh, well, it looks like they got money. Oh, okay. So they're out of towners. It looks like they've got money, like they're loaded or whatever. So yeah, screw them. Let's go after them. I mean, what the hell is that? It's that typical bullshit, small town, good old boy mentality. But it doesn't matter what this crackhead is doing. They're out of towners.
Yeah, but that's
and worst off, Yankees.
Lynette is from a different town altogether. That's what makes it even screwier.
Right, but she's from there. She's from Florida.
She's not.
She didn't move from Ohio.
Iowa. She's from Iowa.
Oh, is she from Iowa? Oh,
Iowa.
Really? Well, okay. All right. I thought she's been in Florida for a while.
Yeah, right? Probably about I don't know. Once her tits started to get all flappy, she probably had to move someplace where it's more acceptable. And what better place than Florida?
Yeah, I just don't. Yeah, that whole thing is just all screwy. It's just, man.
Oh yeah, he makes most of his money from being a landlord and other businesses, but yeah, he can't. That dude cannot make money off of YouTube because people call him out on his bullshit in a heartbeat. You know,
and there's that to it as well. Yeah, I think.
No, I think they're talking about the Hales. Sorry about that.
Well,
the judge. I meant the judge.
Sorry,
sucks.
yeah.
The judge sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as the Hales go, they make more money of doing things off of YouTube. They don't make any money off of you. And everybody out there, I guarantee you cannot make money off of YouTube until you hit like that
no way up there.
like you're talking about like not even 1%. It's like 0.5% of like YouTube content creators.
Yeah, I mean, and this. See, here's the thing. I was a musician for years and years and years and years, like grinding it. And I am under no delusion that I will never be YouTube famous. No delusion here. I will never be like that level because it takes a different level of being like in the trenches on YouTube that I don't have time for. You know, if YouTube would have been around back when in the 90s, whenever I first started playing music, I probably would have done YouTube instead of playing music, because I would have had the time to dedicate to it.
Yeah.
Now at 50 plus, I just don't have the time for it. I mean, as much as you guys see me on here, trust me, I spend very little time doing YouTube compared to everything else that I'm doing. Yeah. Like today was a perfect example. I spent 2 hours getting all of the edits done for the story. I spent another hour doing a new intro or outro for Monday. Oh, you want to see that? Oh, dude, it's so awesome. I've finished it up today, and I will show you guys the outro for it. You ready? Now, you guys just know that we won't be outroing this, but this is the outro I worked up. So I need your honest opinion. 1 in the chat if you like it. 2 if it just absolutely sucks. Okay? So just pay attention, because we'll be right back.
Now I gotta call somebody to come get me because my car turned into a spaceship and I don't know how to fly it. I'm not an astronaut.
So is that better?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
So critiques. I like critiques. See,
I do like that. I like the end part there, as far, well, not just her ass, but the part about the time for me to piss off. I like that part too.
That was pretty funny.
I think maybe move the crackhead FO individual up closer to the dude that can't fly his car. Kind of a segue into that, as he's talking about how he can't fly his car or whatever, and she's waving her arms around doing all that weird shit or whatever.
Well, see, I put that at the very
I'm not real good at this stuff. So I mean, you guys go above and beyond me at all. I mean, it's hard enough for me just to pick out a story or research a story and then read it and then just do the recording that I've got to do, because my dumb ass just stumbles through it, and I got to do take after take after take. And I've had some people saying, "Oh, you need to do like an outtakes, like a bloopers reel." Yeah, get kicked off of YouTube for that one. But anyway, so you guys put a lot more energy into this stuff than I do, and it takes a lot longer than what some people may think.
No, I spent probably about 2.5 hours just getting that where it was. Lots of tweaks, lots of deletes and edits and all kinds of stuff. It just made you want a cup of coffee. Exactly. That's the point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The green kind of ball. Yeah. But I thought it was much better than the fake coffee drinkers. It was Like I was like, this is so bad. And of course everybody noticed it right off the bat. Was like, oh, these are horrible coffee drinkers. So I was like, son of a bitch. It's like, I was hoping you guys wouldn't notice. I was just trying to put an outro together at the last minute. And of course, my computer is completely taken apart, and it's a different part of the house. It has no internet access, so I can't access any of the files that I have on there right now unless I power it up with like a monitor that's about this big. Just a little screen.
Yeah.
Like, son of a bitch, I'm trying to get these files off of here. So yeah, it's crazy. At least pissing on. Well,
I don't know about that. Shizzy and I have talked about that before, and you know, it's kind of my thing. I'm already pissed off at YouTube to begin with. I don't want to get Shizzy in trouble, but I'm kind of pissed off at YouTube to begin with. I'm not even monetized. Yeah, I'm over 500, but I'm not monetized. And part of that has to do with my hours. However, I was informed shortly after, because I've only been putting my stories on and doing this since the beginning of September, end of August. Yeah, my first one was like at the very beginning or the very end of August. And I was informed shortly thereafter by a couple of different people that congratulations on getting monetized and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, have you seen my numbers? How can I'm not monetized. I don't have any. Oh, you got commercials on your stuff. YouTube will go through and they'll put commercials on your shit anyway.
Yes.
And you get nothing for it. Plus, then you take YouTube, and I think personally, I'd looked at it before, and I think experts got it just about right. Because if you take YouTube and Google, between YouTube, Google, and if you're on your phone and you go to do a super chat or a super sticker to somebody, now if you're using your iPhone, you have Microsoft in there with their fingers in the pot. So now it's up to about close to 50%. 50% of what you see on those super stickers and super chats are gone right off the bat.
Well,
and it's a ripoff, not only to the creator, but it's also a ripoff to the donor, because I don't think a lot of people realize that how much of their money is being taken. And I'm not trying to dissuade anybody from donating anybody. I'm just saying, for me personally, YouTube can already kiss my ass. Yeah. So I'm not really interested in monetizing through them. Plus the fact that once you go through those steps, they sink their claws deeper into you. And then once you get that golden nugget, they have every chance and every opportunity to dictate what you can or cannot do and to jerk it away from you. And I do not want to be reliant on that. So I'm using them just like they're using me. And it's only a stepping stone. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah. And that's part of the reason why a lot of creators, myself included, also include links to like Cash App or Buy Me a Coffee or PayPal, whatever the case may be. Because that's a way you can directly donate to the creator, and YouTube can't take a cut of that at all. They get nothing.
Right.
I mean, and the worst part is that it used to be 30% with YouTube. It's actually gone up. So YouTube almost takes 50% right now. And then if you're an Apple user, they take 30%.
So whenever you see one of those tip jars, they're generally, because they're using a program that's inside of Streamlabs that will show up as a tip jar, but that's a combination of PayPal. It could be also Super Chats. It can also be Cash Apps. If they have those all synced up to it, it'll just show up as one whole tip jar. But yeah, those tip jars, they're still getting their cut. Cash App even gets a cut out of it. So everybody gets a cut no matter what. You know, that's how they make their money. They do provide a service, and you're going to be paying out of it. YouTube don't get shit from me, and I don't get ads. I mean, that's some people run ad blockers, you know, and the thing is if you're running an ad blocker, it the only people that it hurts are the creators, because if they have ads running, then they don't get any revenue from it. I don't care personally, because I don't get what, $5. What, you're gonna hurt me for like 0.2 of a cent? I don't even fucking care.
But see, I don't like that either, because they took that away when they did that change up, because you can say to turn your ads off when you're doing a live, as we've all seen.
Yeah.
But unless you're running certain programs, they will still put ads on there, and it interrupts your live stream, and it pisses people off.
Yeah,
it does. And creators no longer have a say in that, at least for right now.
I do want to address Paula Carpenter's comment there. Like, what's it like for you? $2 for YouTube TV. I don't know about YouTube TV, but if you are a member of the YouTube Premium, I mean, you can get like a family plan. It covers up to 5 accounts. It's $22 a month, and you get rid of the ads. And anytime that you do click on somebody's video, instead of like seeing the ads, the person that you watch the content from, they still get a cut of the ad revenue, even though you're not watching the ads.
Right.
So in the long run, for supporting creators, it actually behooves you more to get the YouTube Premium. I mean, I ended up getting it just a while back just because of, as a creator, I'm like, okay, maybe it might be a better idea to get that just to see how it works. Honestly, I've done the math and it actually works out a lot better.
Yeah.
Not to mention all the additional stuff you get through YouTube Premium, like the movies, the TV shows and shorts. I mean, you've got like a whole other streaming service at your fingertips on top of just regular YouTube.
Oh, Yankee Gutter. That's I sorry, Gutter Girl. That's really awesome. She sent me a couple of things. I want to download these and show them because they look pretty damn awesome. Put those in there. I think that's where I want to put. No, I'm going to put them on my desktop because it'll be easier for me to find them later. And give me just a second and download that one. So she's done.
Going back to what Eris, while you're doing that, Eris was saying to me a little bit ago. Not sure where it went. Oh, Story has opinions. He's quite quiet in chat. Yeah, unless you bring up medical stuff or small town stuff. Yeah, like I told you before, it's one of those things where I get bored real easy. I can't just go up on panels because then inevitably it may start rambling off onto different things that really aren't that necessarily of an interest to me. I'd rather be in chat joking around. And so unless it's something that is like coming on here and reading the stories or like what we're talking about right now, yeah, there's a grab there. There's an interest there. So yeah, I'll talk a little bit more, but
yeah,
that doesn't always happen. I mean, when you've seen me dressed up on Halloween for the expert, I pretty much just sit there like a bump on a log because he starts kind of rambling off on the different stuff that I just really don't feel like engaging in.
Here we go. We'll show this here from Gutter's Pub. She sent me this right here. There we go. Gutter Girl.
Yeah.
You're muted. So just letting you know you're muted. Your microphone is muted.
Paula, no, you're right. Yeah, your wrist is not meant to do that. Your knees are not meant to do that. Your hips are not meant to do that. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm not laughing at you, but yeah. They're not meant to do that.
Laugh at me, please.
I got her.
Here's my
girl.
Hi. How are we?
We're good.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out. Let me see here. I got too much going.
Figure out. You got us here. Yeah, see, Magic Angel says that was cool. Yeah.
Okay. Yay.
I think it's pretty cool. I mean,
but the thing about it is, it should have had music with it. I don't know.
Did you not hear the music?
No, I had
No,
music
I
set to
didn't.
it though.
I didn't hear it
Oh,
either.
oh, so
okay,
there was
that,
music.
Oh,
that was
no.
that
It wasn't.
was my
Yeah,
fault. That was
it
my fault.
was. Yeah, it's
Okay,
that
well, that's okay.
residual expert effect. That,
Yeah.
that kind of.
I know exactly what happened. I forgot to.
He kind of
I was like, okay,
rubs
wait, did
off
I
on
send him
people.
the wrong one?
No, it was me. So here we go. We'll share it with the audio. Here we go. We'll do it.
There we go.
See?
Yeah.
There you go.
So now tell me what all I should have done different because I need all the input I can get.
Overall, I mean, I really liked it. I think it was well edited. You had a lot of good things there. My only real critique would be the image at the very end. It seems a little stretched to
Okay, it
fit
is.
this. Yeah.
So I need to change it.
Yeah, if you could find something that is maybe the same picture, but at like the full frame aspect ratio, that would, that would look great. But yeah, that's the only thing I could really find that needed any kind of tweaking at all. Otherwise, thumbs up.
Yay, thank you. All right,
Yeah, no,
boys.
it was good. Yeah.
No,
I was just going to be a smart ass and tell you, it was just all a pile of shit and to start all over again.
That's right.
But,
That's right. Next time, take off your clothes if you're going to do it.
Exactly. We enjoy that much more.
You failed.
Some
you are the weakest
naked
link,
yoga.
And
in a mouth.
Yeah.
All right, and here's your trial rewatch one. So let's check this one out. Okay. I think the intro, you could possibly do some sort of fade out on it.
On the end or on the very beginning?
On the very end. It seems like it just
on the very end. Okay.
It's really short.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like some sort of fade out or something that ends with a little bit of a tone, a simple like spot where it just sort of trails off. Does that make sense?
So like for that to just fade out instead of flash out, like to just end, like where it's just ending, it should fade out. I wonder if I can do that on Adobe Express. I think I can.
It should be fairly simple with that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And what you can always do is if you're having issues with it, you can actually just go in there and just slowly tab that thing and where it slows out. And I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about as soon as I find it. Give me just a second.
I have no idea how to do that stuff. I'm just like the stuff that I figured out after the last 2 days of messing with it all is quite incredible.
Oh yeah, and sometimes it's trial and error, and once you get through it, you're just like, oh, that was easier than I thought it would be. I'll give you an example of this is one that I put together for. What did I put together? Who did I put this together for?
The only reason I thought about doing the trials now was because this one takes a huge interest for me because it's from the woman that was actually murdered was from my hometown area. So,
Oh, wow.
So yeah. So, and her state trooper husband is the one that killed her. I don't know if you guys ever heard about it, but yeah, it's kind of trippy. He basically smothered her and stuck her in a bathtub. Really
in the
weird.
bathtub. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I'll show you one that I put together. It sort of give you an idea. This is a really old one that I did for a group. And check this out.
I'm not hearing sound. Am I playing with myself again?
Did you need help?
I don't hear anything.
I mean,
I just thought I was sitting here all alone in the dark again.
Yeah, you seem like you're begging.
Yeah.
When you ask more than twice, it's a begging story.
Yeah. I just stand at the toilet all day long. No, I was just playing with myself. I was all alone again. I couldn't hear anything.
So
don't leave me alone. Sound? It gets really weird.
There was no sound?
No.
No sound.
Jesus.
Nope, didn't hear it. I think we tried to warn you, though.
I couldn't hear it.
Story definitely said it, but then he got sidetracked with touching himself or something.
Yeah.
I thought I shared the audio on it. So let's try it again.
There you go.
That old look.
Don't forget your towel.
I like that part.
That's
Don't
friggin'
forget your towel.
But you see how before I did that, right where the song ended, it had a clear ending to it. It like
I know, and I got to figure out how to, because in that song, it actually does stop, and I need to get it to that spot where it actually stops before it starts that next note. Because I think if I could get it there, then, okay, I see what you're saying. Fade out the music. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, you just hit it right at that perfect spot where everything cuts out and it ends up coming off. Like
that's what every woman tells her man, but yes. I got to make one point here. Era said, Story, you are distracting as fuck. I have been trying to work for the past 2 hours and I've gotten nothing done because your voice. Eris, I'm going to say, I'm going to say you're doing the wrong work, honey. You need to use his voice for your benefit.
Yeah, I did. Oh, there it is. Okay, now I see it. Okay, it was right about. All right, sorry, Harrison. She always yells at me. She's always yelling at me about something. I think I just get that tune out thing after a while, you know.
Oh, it's just so distracting.
Yeah, she's just yelling at me again. Whatever.
You know, somebody has to.
Well, no. If you could just drop your voice every now and then, I think that it would help her determine what work she should be doing versus what she's really
she's
doing.
wanting to do.
Yeah.
Right.
She's wanting to do.
She wouldn't be distracting.
Touch
Drop that voice a little further.
See, oh, geez, you get them all going. Wait a minute. Wait. Hold, please. Let me mute.
So we need links there. Everybody can subscribe to I Have a Story, because you still need watch hours, don't you? There.
Yeah, I actually went through and I did a check on that.
You know what?
I think it's still like at or below 1,300 or whatever. But like I said, for me, as far I'm just glad that people like it. It's not as big a deal for me as it is for some people, because I have no intention, like I said, of monetizing through YouTube. The subscribers are cool, and it helps build my platform and that stepping stone. But yeah, right. YouTube can kiss my ass.
Yeah, but see, the thing is if people are coming by and they hear you, then they're more likely to follow you wherever you're going.
Right.
Wherever you're at, they will be interested in what you're doing.
Right. And which is what I like and appreciate, and what I would like to have. That part's the important part. Mm-hmm. What YouTube wants to steal from me, whatever.
That's what I'm saying. If they're going to make money, if they're going to sell your ass, you better at least make something off it. Don't let YouTube be the only wiener in this. I mean, get your wiener in there, boy.
Yeah.
That's why I drove so hard to get over that.
Start chicken slapping someone,
just so that way I could start getting that ad revenue. So I'm like, all right, I know it's only a small cut, but I'm like, give me. If I'm going to put in this much work, I want you to give me some money out of it.
Well, especially if you really despise YouTube as much as I do.
I know. Yes, absolutely.
Well,
but then, like I was telling Shizzy and the guys before too, was that once you get to that point, then they're really able to sink their claws into you, and that's part of the problem. Is that they then get people that are reliant on that, and then they hold that golden nugget there, and any little thing you do or say, they can just jerk it away from you. And if for a lot of people, that's their only income. That's all they've got.
That is.
And so once that carrot gets yanked away from them, it can really hurt. And I just don't want to be relying on them for that.
But see, here's the beauty of where I'm at with it. If they yank that nugget away, I'm still on Rumble, I'm still on Kick, I'm still on Twitter.
Right.
And it's just, and I would be doing it regardless of where I was at.
The money, right?
It's like
OnlyFans.
Yeah, I do have an OnlyFans account.
No.
Yeah,
you have to understand that Shizzy's a slut, not a whore. He would do it whether he was getting paid or not.
Pretty much.
I'm with you, Shiz.
It's because I enjoy doing this stuff, and it's
right.
I think it's awesome whenever people are following, because it lets me know it's sort of like gauging where you're at with what you're doing. If people are liking it, and they're not liking it because somebody said, "Oh, go check this guy out," and if they check it out and they don't like it, then just turn it off. Don't just stop liking it. It's not hard. I've never understood the whole coming into someone's channel just to say I hate your stuff and I wish you would do X, Y, or Z and blah blah blah, and then
oh Lord,
leave.
I get that all the time in the comment section.
It's just like, okay, that's more power to you. I mean,
and that's why I started doing that. We talked about that before, and part of the reason why I started doing it was I needed another outlet, because of all the stuff, and so it's really helped. It makes my eyes tired. It calms my brain down. It makes my insomnia more controlled, because then I'm tired when I've done it. When I've gone through and I've looked up stories or read a story and done editing or whatever, it's really helped me out. So that was my initial reason for doing it, was kind of a selfish aspect to it, I guess. Yeah, and then, being able to have other people jump on board and go for a ride with me. It's been fun. And I really appreciate it. But it's the same thing. Just like you said, if you don't like it, there's the door.
Yeah.
In the same way with me, if I don't like what I'm doing, then I switch it up. I mean, I've got no qualms about that. Like I was doing the Federalist Papers, and it just got to the point where I'm like, I'm not enjoying this. Why am I still doing this? I also was doing the Depp trial. Like the last one I did was Thursday. I was like, I'm done. I've worn this one out, and I let everybody know I'm done. If you want to check out the stuff that I've done previously, then go check it out. If you love it, then you love it. If you don't, then you don't. But for me, I do things because I enjoy doing them. If I didn't enjoy doing them, then I find other venues of doing things. You know,
there's no sense in forcing yourself and then end up burning yourself out. Do it because
that's
you
how
enjoy
I fell
it.
into. That's how I fell into doing the film news and stuff like that. It's something that I enjoy, and I like to bring that information to folks and kind of maybe help people to make more informed choices. I could sit there and I could rail on, oh, Disney sucks all the time, but that doesn't actually help move the needle any. If I go to like, hey, here's something that's happening, here's how this affects this, and here's why this may or may not be something that helps the culture. And, ultimately I'm just giving you the news so that way you can decide for yourself what actually, you would do with your life. It's up to you. But I mean, I think there is a problem of just too much dang negativity in a lot of like what some folks in particularly my area do. I try to avoid that and just bring the facts. But at the same time, that's what I enjoy doing, breaking it down and getting to the heart of the matter. And there's always something new going on with that. So, I mean, I gotta admit, like y'all were talking about, it was a totally selfish reason how I got into it. I mean, I really had before I started doing the movie stuff, I mean, I was just kind of like ambling on. I was just doing random stuff here or there. And I was hanging out in some Discords and like, on the voice chat, like trying to, people would ask me about movies. And then there was somebody that I used to know in one of these Discords. It's like, I would start talking about a movie and then he would just like immediately interrupt me and I couldn't get a word in edgewise from there. And I just said, you know what, screw this. I'm just going to go ahead and start recording my own videos by myself to where people can't interrupt me. And I can just put it out there. And it ended up taking off. And I'm like, okay, I'm happy with this. This is great.
Well, and that's sort of the thing with like one of the things I ran into was a lot of people were saying, oh, you're streaming at the same time so-and-so is, or you're streaming at the same time so-and-so is. And you know what? I tell them, okay, because I'm still doing what I'm doing. If people want to come by and see it, that's wonderful. If you happen to be watching the same people that I'm watching at the same time that I'm watching, then good. I want everybody to succeed. I hope that I gain those people's trust in what I'm presenting, and that they like it more than they like whatever else is going on. But I'm not going to be dissuaded because if Kaiser's going on at 7:30 on Sunday, I'm not going to sit there and get upset about it. I'm just going to continue doing what I do. And like I started doing my morning streams because for me, in the mornings, whenever I was getting up, what I was doing is
I hate those. It's too early for me.
I know, because
it makes me cry. I'm not 3:30 in the morning. I'm like, I'd like to go bitch with him, but I can't. I'm not getting up at 3:30 in the morning to bitch.
Go ahead and sing it. That's a Garth Brooks song. Go right on ahead and sing it.
Well, see, I get up in the morning, and what I was doing is I was finding that I was catching up on other people's YouTube stuff, the shows that I couldn't watch overnight. Like I'd watch some Nick Rekieta, or maybe Meme Copium would be going on in the mornings, and I'd watch that. And I felt like I wasn't being fulfilled. It was just like, oh, it's really cool, this interesting stuff, but it's like, I do this stuff because I enjoy doing it. And so I switched over and I was like, I'm going to start doing some morning streams, and it's just going to be about the news. It's going to be politics. I'm going to talk nasty. I'm going to be horrible. I'm going to just be half awake half the time. Most of the time I'll probably oversleep through the stream, and I wake up like at an hour late and show up and be there. And I'm not concerned about it because my chat is awesome. They come in there, they entertain themselves. They're just like, where's Shizzy? And then of course Eros will come in there and, well, Shizzy was on with MG until like 4:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
So don't expect him here, but he will be here eventually. I mean, but it's one of those where I come in, I've got
the vast majority of the people that we hang with, especially in the Law Tube area. I mean, you get into those other, whether it's true crime, whatever. But in the Law Tube arena, and especially in this crowd that we've got between the main, I don't know, probably half a dozen channels or so, I think is a pretty good crowd. And for the most part, I mean, we can sit there, we can bust each other's nuts and crack on each other. I mean, people have seen me. I mean, some of my jokes, some people may think that I go too far, or my gallows humor or whatever, which needs no explanation. But for the most part, it's a give and take, and we're pretty good with it. And we just have a good time. And that's why I like being in chat.
Yeah.
A lot of the times and just hanging out. But Eris, I did see that DM. So
a lot of times my humor is more in chat than it is, like, I come across better in chat sometimes than I do just talking. And sometimes it's the other way around. I mean, but usually, I mean, if I'm not in the mood, I will be better off in chat than you don't want me on your panel if I'm not in the right mood. So, but Shiz, you were talking about.
I'm so glad to get you in the mood tonight, guys.
You got me in the mood.
You had to go too far for me. I know. She doesn't.
I totally just derailed her. She was
moist, and you guys start talking serious, and I dried up. Yes, I got me going squirrel. You had mentioned people will say, well, you can't stream, you're streaming while somebody else is streaming. Have you ever tried to go and look and say, okay, I'm going to pick 7:00 at night, and I don't care whose time zone it is.
Oh yeah.
And try to pick, there's going to be somebody on there that you watch. You're not going to find a time. So you just have to pick your times and you do them. And so a lot of times I miss Shizzy's because, he's doing his then, and that's okay. He misses mine. It's okay. If I catch his, great. If I don't, it's okay. I just don't think it's that big a deal. As long as we still try to come support each other and be there for each other when we can, I think that's the big thing. Don't make it a stressful thing.
Yeah, and as far as the streaming portion of it goes, you stream whenever it's comfortable for you. Like I shouldn't have to set aside and say, oh, I'm going to stream at 7 to 9 o'clock, and then Gutter, you take from 9 to 11, and then Kaiser, you take 11. It's like, no, that just because all it's doing is it's taking a group of followers, and they're ping-ponging from one streamer to the next, but they're not getting any new content. It's like you're in this loop of the same thing being repeated over and over again. And now, getting out of that is a hard thing to do.
I do believe that I do like the idea of, and the expert taught me this, of how I can redirect. I'm still learning it, but if you go into your settings, people can redirect to you, so they can, but you have to go into your settings and set up for that. And so I hadn't, the first time expert came to my chat and was like, hey, if you were there, it'd be a heck of a lot easier. But anyways, I did get there, and he's like, now I can redirect my chat to you. And he has actually sent people my way. So, I think that's great. That's kind of, I think, a great way to network for each other and spread that love.
Yeah. So, well, like Eris is saying right there, modding for all these people. The mods are great, especially when you get ones that that you can trust, and they're work their asses off, because like expert and so many other have said, and I've seen, you can get a mod in there that will destroy you. And I don't know how she does it with as many platforms as she does it. I think at one point in time, I was a mod on like maybe four different channels at one point, quite a while ago, but still. And sometimes it was just, it was nuts.
Well, and I don't
then some of the BS that goes along with it. So.
Well, and when I mod, a lot of times I don't do nearly what Eris does. As soon as somebody new comes in, she's on it. She's got their link in there, and not just their link for YouTube. She has their Rumble link. She has their Twitter. I mean, she got every link she can find, and she's on it. So, I mean, it's hard to find mods like that.
Well, and also,
and all of them, Miami Spice and Texas Jen and Rabbit and all of them. They're all. We've got a good group.
Well, and also those folks like Eris and Texas Jen and Miami Spice, they've actually vetted a lot of these people, so they know where they're at, what they're doing. They've checked out their stuff. They're making sure that they're not pulling some sort of bullshit scam, because there are creators out there that are pulling scams. Not all of them, but some of them are, and they're very hesitant about putting their faces out there. They'll give them a little bit of a shout out, but you can sort of see where a lot of that goes whenever they see shenanigans. The mods are really quick at picking that stuff out. I mean, I can think of a certain masked superhero that people figured that stuff out pretty damn quick. And that was the mods that figured that stuff out. It wasn't the content creators that figured it out as fast as the mods did. It was like, oh, something's really weird about this person.
Yeah,
Take the compliment. Yes, absolutely, Wolfram.
You're good too. Right. Wolfram's good as well. They are on their stuff, man. They, I see them in many chats, and I see what they do. It's a lot more than I do. So, I try to.
Hey, now David just retired. Well, that is true. David did retire, but it's there's a lot of work that goes behind the scenes that a lot of the chat doesn't see because they don't need to be bothered with it. They came to be entertained. They came to see a good time. They came to see us all having fun. And whenever we're having fun, they're having fun. Whenever we have good conversations, they have great conversations. And that's, I think, the most important part of this, whether YouTube comes in and says, oh, you spoke badly about Ukraine, or you spoke goodly about Ukraine. It's like, I just saw their updated terms of service, and I joke not. If you say anything discouraging war or talking good about war, they're going to demonetize your channel in the Ukraine. So get that.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think is going to happen if I say
I'll probably be demonetized then.
That you
be ready.
You shouldn't do anything in Ukraine. But yet on the other hand, Kaiser says, no, you should totally do great things in Ukraine, and we should go in there and blow everything up. What actually happens? Because you're telling us basically don't talk about it. It's like,
don't have an opinion. Don't think for yourselves. Heaven forbid.
Exactly. And that's what bothers me about the YouTube portion of it. It's just like they don't want you thinking for yourself.
No.
And they don't want you spreading any sort of information out there because, well, that would just be misinformation or disinformation or unproven facts. It's just like, well, if
it covers.
You end up with the same shit that you ended up in the 1940s with the
right, exactly.
Because nobody's talking about it because they're too scared to. I was like, screw you. I'll talk about it. If you want to remove me from this platform, if you want to remove me because of my beliefs on any particular subject, well, then there's other platforms that I'll be on. But I'm just not going to.
I'm not going to cave. I will talk about whatever I want.
I'm of the opinion you don't like my opinion. That's fine. Go somewhere else. Otherwise,
and that's the way it should be. Yeah.
There's only a few things that you cannot do on my channel. So there's only a few things, and I can pretty much count them on two fingers. So, I just, there can't be any racism, that kind of stuff. I don't, just stay away from that. And
what do you mean? I hate Whitey. Why did you go down?
That's right. You cracker.
Down with that patriarchy.
Down with the patriarchy.
But it's not like if somebody said something racist that I'd be like, "You're out." It's at you know, the only reason, I mean, yeah,
you'd be like, "Hey, that's not cool."
I mean, but so there, I'm not into control. I mean, for Shizzy, you did my intro. What was the first thing it said? Where freedom lives. I'd be pretty stupid to be censoring people on it. So, you know, I want them to come there. That's the whole idea, is them to come there and say what's on their mind and get it out there. So I'm all about it. So YouTube,
and then especially amongst our group too, like I was saying before, in the LawTube arena, when we watch these, each one of us has different insights or experience or just opinions in general, even if you have no experience in the area of law in any way, shape, or form. We watch these trials and we'll sit there and bicker back and forth. But I think for the vast majority, we're able to get past that. Kind of like what Eris was saying earlier. I don't necessarily, I say a lot of stupid jokes. Okay, don't take everything I say seriously. I just say a lot of stupid jokes. But when we were doing the trial on the 2 paramedics, because I knew that thing was complete and utter horse shit. Those guys were in the wrong right from the start. So I was a little passionate, if you should say, about that.
Yeah.
And
as you should be.
But we all are able to then turn around and sit there and joke around and have a good time.
Right.
And that's what matters to me.
And the thing is you'll see it quite often. I think I've even gone against MLS and said things that I'm like, I don't agree with X, Y, or Z. And he's come back and said, well, look at it this way, and said, you know, A, B, C, D, and this and this. And it's just like, damn it, you are absolutely right. But I still disagree with you.
Right.
I mean, you're right. Your points are very valid. They're very straightforward, but I still disagree with you. And the thing is there's no hate or love loss. It's having that conversation. And I think that's something that YouTube should foster more. If YouTube fostered that so much more, you wouldn't see the kind of bullshit that you're dealing with What the Hales, because you know what is preventing them from going out there and showing the kind of shenanigans that fucking Lynette's doing. You know, and of course, then you've got a judge that's saying, no, you can't show any of that, because if you show any of that, I'm just going to make sure that we silence it. And it's just like, wait a second. So you're silencing one person, but the other person is able to just make up shit as they go along. And it's like, what kind of fucking upside down world are we in? That you've got a judge that believes that he's above and beyond, that he can tell you, no, you can't talk about that because, well, it just makes her look really fucking bad. Well, it does, and there's a reason why it makes her look bad, because it is bad what she's doing. Why does it make the judge look bad? It's because what he's doing is bad.
Yeah.
Oh, good debate. I mean,
there's just so much to that whole thing. I mean, we could probably literally sit here, which I have not seen. Admittedly, I've not seen everything that the Hales have. Right?
No,
so I don't know the entire story right from the. But what I'm saying is, we could very easily trying to sum up this whole thing in a short period of time is just you really can't. I mean, you could literally sit here all frigging night long and go over every aspect of what's wrong with this whole fucking thing. It's absolutely insane.
Yes. Oh, nice. Is that happening right now? Very cool. The expert is going to be going on. Very cool.
What's up?
Oh, the expert will be going on here shortly. So that's very cool.
Okay.
And no, and I've said this. I have said this multiple times that, you know, I just don't get all worked up over the craziness of you know any of the bullshit that YouTube likes to throw out there at you, because there's too many people that are just like, oh, you've got to do X, Y, or Z. It has to be such and such. And I'm not getting into it. I'm not arguing. I'm not sitting like there was some drama that came up. Probably the end of last year. And I got involved in it. And I didn't even realize I was involved in it at the time. And I reached out and spoke to a few people, and I was just like, this seems really weird to me that I'm involved in some sort of bullshit drama. And I don't know anything about this. All I know is I want to create and I want to do things. And they made a very, very fine point to me. It was like, if your channel does drama, if that's what your channel is about, is doing drama, that's where you're going to constantly be. And all you're going to be doing is you're going to be looking for the next drama.
Yeah.
If you want to stay away from drama, then don't get yourself involved. And as soon as you see it happening, get the hell out of there.
Bow out.
Just dump it.
And I don't care how much that creator wants to help you or how much they want to do. I don't care. I don't care how many subs they have. Get the hell out of there as quick as you can, and don't look back.
No. It's for me. It's a one-time deal. You shoot yourself in the foot one time with me, and you're fucking done. I don't care. Exactly the same thing. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're freaking what's his name, PewDiePie, and 100 and some odd million subs. I don't care. It doesn't matter a goddamn thing to me.
Me either.
Well,
zero drama, hate drama.
And it's one of those things where if Kaiser and I are streaming together and then I all of a sudden come on to my own channel and I start bad mouthing him and start stirring up some stuff and start getting people to go after him, it's just like, that just never is going to end up well. Because if I had a personal beef with Kaiser, if I have an issue with Kaiser, I will speak to Kaiser personally, and we can resolve that issue.
As it should be.
And but the problem with that is there's some creators out there that unlike Kaiser is, where if I have an issue, I bring it up with him personally, we resolve the issue, we decide to go our separate ways. There's other creators that will use that. They will use that as content, as to basically perpetuate this drama thing, because that's what they live for.
Yeah.
And you don't know it until you get involved in it. As soon as you get involved in it, you're just like, son of a bitch got me, damn it. And you just you back away as quickly as possible. And we've all been
Eris is touching herself.
Yeah. I'm going to start talking like this because I think Eris needs to be deflated a little.
No, she's touching herself. Don't talk like that. Don't do that. Don't ruin it. She's almost there, dude.
Just a little too excited.
She's like, oh.
I can't help it.
Oh.
I literally have, I don't know why you're getting all excited, honey. I really don't. Because I'm telling you, they call it a voice for radio for a reason. Okay? That ugly tree beat the shit out of me.
Hey.
All right, I got scars and shit all over the place. I freaking Frankenstein's monster is a freaking high level model compared to my ass. So
hey, story. It's nothing a sack can't handle.
Yeah.
Just keep on talking, baby.
Just come on the screen there, put the paper bag with a smiley face on it. Yeah.
Whatever, put somebody's picture on it. Who cares?
You got no head, I'm good. Hey, what? Don't throw that out there. That just does not come off well at all.
I almost feel like she was offering.
I got a head.
You've got no head.
Matters. Just not the one that matters.
And then she said she was good. So I'm just thinking
she might have gotten close to finishing. You just keep moaning for her, and she'll get closer.
That's my goal. I'm a helper and a giver. That's what I do.
A sustainer and a filler.
Who knew the things you could do on YouTube?
The
Why the hell do I need an OnlyFans? I don't need an OnlyFans.
Hell no, just talk.
Just talk. That's bad business. Oh,
I mean, the bedtime stories are good, but I'm with Eris. If you could like put a few more of those, nasty words in there while you're telling those stories, I'm pretty sure she wouldn't even have to tell you what to do then.
You more than you know.
Yeah, I just can't do that. I don't think I'd be able to get through any of that stuff with a straight face. So yeah, I don't think I'm heading down the road of Danielle Steele and Steve Gosney. It totally blows me away with him and his recent stuff. I wouldn't be able to read that one either, I don't think.
Well,
yeah.
And so I actually
I got to
really
start over.
I want to
Shades
get
of Law Tube.
Jeremy if he can send me those transcripts of Iowa, or even just the audio. Oh my god!
Oh,
I would.
Yeah, that could be fun.
The transcripts from that, I would do dramatic readings from that.
Oh yeah,
I would get Mo in the deep end in there, and we just like get Yamaha as Judge Terrapin or whatever hell his name is.
If you're ever in the need of somebody else to do dramatic,
I would have to be the judge. I would have to do the judge because that would.
I think you'd have to do the judge
because he talks so damn much like I do. He just won't shut the hell up.
You know the books that like my mother-in-law still reads them. They called them dirty books, but they were the romance book. I think you should read the romance books. Like,
okay,
you should try to do. Could you imagine?
Okay, like so next weekend, this is what's going to happen. I am going to do a bonnet ripper.
A who?
A bonnet ripper.
What?
Anybody in chat know what a bonnet ripper is? You're going to find
no idea. I don't think I'm thinking is what you're going to say. So.
Just look it up. You'll understand. Whenever you figured out what a bonnet ripper is,
what do you want to do with their bonnet?
Well, trust me, I'm going to use you, Gutters Pub, as being the female in the story.
That's what that is.
Guys have got it.
Oh my. Okay, I volunteer.
Now, is this going to be an actual one, or is this going to be an AI one that you put in there?
Oh, it's going to be AI.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm not going to read somebody else's story. I'm going to make up my own damn story. I got to use Gutters Pub is like the main female in this.
Wow.
I'm excited, and I don't know why.
Yes, D. Robertson. Yes, Roseman says, "I'm excited. I don't know why."
This has loin fire.
Just make sure I'm happy through it all.
No, I will write a bonnet ripper over the next week, and I'll put Gutters Pub in there, and I'll make sure that I get Eris in there, and of course. I'll just have the leather clad manly man called Yamaha Biker in there. We don't know who he is because I have a story here, but of course Yamaha Biker is this other entity. He's like the dirty twin.
That's my twin brother. No, actually, well, according to Eris,
you should
I have
probably
a story is the naughty one.
Diva in that. I mean, somewhere there's got to be some.
Yamaha Biker thinks I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
Let's keep going. David, what is going on, brother? What is going on? Good to see you. Oh yeah, Zach's like, yikes, a ghost. No, we will do a bonnet ripper, and it will be hilarious as all get out. We will make sure that
that hot ankle action,
that
red heels,
that long skirt with the. Just saying.
Wow.
And I'm going to do my special voice just for Eris. That's what I'm going to do.
No, trust me. It's called a bonnet ripper. If you guys don't know what bonnet rippers are,
I had to Google it, but it's a thing.
It is a thing, and I'm gonna write one.
I'm shocked, appalled, and at the same time
intrigued,
Very, very
morbidly
excited.
curious.
Yes.
Interesting.
Can you turn on your
Yeah.
notifications now? You turn on your notifications anytime you want to. You'll be sure to
hit that
find.
notification bell and subscribe to all notifications for all the things that Shizzy puts out. All of the
Yes.
things he puts out.
You don't want to see all the things I put out there. I mean, the ladies, the guys might be a little bit jealous.
Well, that hole in the sheet does get hot, so.
Is that a sheet or a pillow?
That's pretty hot.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah, that'll
and
be
Gutters
interesting.
Pub. Gutters Pub.
Put
What
the
do you have?
stuff
You
down
have
on
you,
the
you have your next
Mhm.
Tuesday. You're doing a stream, right?
I have my Tuesday stream, but I also have taken on about 55 million more things than I should have. But I'm going to see how it all works out. I'm doing obviously the coffee club on Fridays now. From the time I believe is going to be 9 a.m. Pacific to about 11 a.m. Pacific. So
Okay.
it's going to be later for others, but and then I'm going to try that out. I might have to change things around time wise or whatever, but that's kind of where I'm starting it at. And then also I'm going to do rewatches for the Idaho trial. So that I just showed you the intro for. So,
Yes.
and also I have another thing coming up that's kind of in the works, but I haven't done it yet. And it's regarding some a game that is done with music. So we'll just leave it at that.
Very
Because
good.
haven't got that in the works yet, but yeah. But yeah,
And-
that's where we're at.
And what do you have coming up, Yamaha?
Well, I'm trying to finish that one story that I was working on because of my voice issue that's still kind of being a pain in the butt. So, but yeah, just stories when I come across them, or if I get some suggestions and things that I need. Sometimes people will give me some suggestions on stuff that they want to hear. I think that I want to get into some more of the almost just like some of the true, like some of maybe the older ones, true unsolved type.
Oh, nice.
Type stories. But tracking some of that stuff down and doing research on that can take a little time because it's not necessarily so much information available. So,
Who's
but I
my
think
new
something of that
friend?
nature.
I don't know about what you mean by new friend. I have a story, which is Yamaha Biker, which we've been friends for quite some time. Gutters Pub, which we've been friends for quite some time. Kaiser Pineapple. So, I mean, are you talking about this guy? That would be Winston Churchill. Which oh, you want to see something really cool? Because I did this the other day. It looks absolutely hilarious. And if you do this number, it looks so weird.
Yeah.
He's creeping over my shoulder.
That's
Like,
creepy.
Dude, that is not creepy.
Really, man, you're gonna be just right behind me, like creeping me out. You son of a buck.
That is so freaky.
So, yes, and I've got Mondays that I do a. Well, where am I located at? I'm located in Atlanta, Georgia. Kaiser's located in Yamaha Beach, and I'm just kidding.
Yamaha Beach. I wish I was on a beach.
He pays me a pretty penny in rent.
Gutters Pub is on the very extreme West Coast. So she's Pacific time.
Yeah, in Oregon.
Kaiser is in the same time zone that I'm in, which is Eastern time zone, and Yamaha he is located between Eris's legs.
Yes.
Lucky
Home.
wench.
Home sweet home. I click my heels together every night. And
Oh, you don't know
constantly
me.
chant,
Oh,
"There's
you
no
don't know
place
me?
like home.
Alice?
There's no place like home."
There's no place like Eris's home.
Yeah, Gutter's Pub. She's someone that I ran into from Lincoln Kane. He's the one that brought us together, and we've been hanging out ever since. It's been quite some time. I mean, if you look at it, if you look at it, YouTube time, it's been a long time.
It has been quite a few months, actually. I mean, hopefully it'll be for a long time.
I hope so.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. What we're going to do is we're going to kick everybody over to the expert because he's got a big evening wrap up, and he's going to make it like completely enjoyable for you guys. And I'm going to end this bad boy with, oh damn, that's the wrong spot. What we got there? Go back to the AI chat there, and let's see if we can end this the same way that we came out, except with a much more enjoyable.
Thank you, everybody.
Yes, thank you so much
for showing up and come back. We'll be doing this again on Sundays. We try to make this our usual Sunday thing. So if you had fun, come back. Have fun again. Hang out.
See you guys. Peace.
Later.
Bye.
I love a buttered biscuit.
Well, you're handling that mic pretty well.